Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, a very special welcome to you. I hope you're having the absolute best day, and I hope you're ready for me to make your day just a little bit worse. Let me say hello to the chat. Hello, Mau Mau the best girl. Hello, Jen. Hello, Blushface. Hello, Cam's Kick. Hello, Magic on Bikes. Hello, Corn Dog Katie, and hello, Rose Ransom. Let's go. We got some fun stuff on the docket today. On my last stream, I mentioned that the LCU NDA or contract had been leaked by Turbo. And I feel like no one in the girl world space has kind of been talking about it and how exploitative it is. And this isn't an LCU channel, but I do think we can have a good conversation about the LCU and just about the exploitative nature of that contract. Hello, Moonlight Doll. And then we're going to get into a couple of Rosie streams that I missed. As we all know, I've been having computer issues almost this entire month. The new one has been purchased. All of my data is being transferred. So let's rock and roll. I'm so excited. They're earning their keep. It's okay. I will forgive you if you type in the wrong chat. Don't they know it's Princess time? I wish they did, Katie. So I want to start with the LCU NDA. I'm going to be using this channel called Aussie Cobb. They pretty much only focus on LCU related content. So if you're not like super an LCU fan, their content might not be for you. But I do think if you got emotionally invested into the world of the LCU when Amberlynn Reed was in the LCU, they might be a good channel for you to watch. So full shout outs to Aussie Cobb today for all of this. Again, don't mind a slightly laggy stream. Your husband's in a mood. Tell him it's princess time. He can't be in a mood right now. Don't people's husbands and dogs know it's princess time? So again, full credits to this recap go to Aussie Cobb. So somebody's going to be reading the contract. Now they called it NDA. It's not. It's the contract that everybody signs. And I want to talk about a lot of this because again, my boot remains on this fucking gnome's neck. All right. We know I hate this guy. Any chance I get to shit talk him, I'll do it. Okay, I'm gonna cut him off. Sorry. I guess I'm gonna read it. So this was leaked apparently by Turbo. It was given to an ex LCU host of sorts, and this is the contract pretty much he has everybody sign. I know Ziomara hadn't signed it, so which is honestly it probably would have benefited her to sign the contract. Other than she wouldn't have been allowed to stream on TikTok. But I do think that this is important. So I'm going to read it out. Podcast host participation and IP protection agreement. First of all, calling the LCU a podcast is laughable. The LCU is a podcast in the same way that Joe Rogan hosts a podcast. It like barely fucking counts. So it starts with this podcast host participation and IP protection agreement in quotations again, is entered into as of date, effective date, by and between Keem LLC. The fact that he owns an LLC boggles my fucking mind. And Daniel Keemstar, Keem, and affiliated entities as applicable collectively with company and company parties and blank, so that person would sign their name there. Company parties and hosts are each a party and together are the parties. So then it goes into the subsections of the host participation and IP protection agreement. So we'll start with engagement and services. Hosts will provide on-air and or off-air services in connection with one or more podcasts, live stream programs, and related content distributed through the podcast network, currently titled the Locale Universe, the quote-unquote show, including related live streams, clips, bonus content, social content, promotional appearances, and derivative content. So what this means is, I mean, I'm sure my audience can read, but it's not negotiable to jump on shows. Like he framed it as you're encouraged to jump on the shows and be a part of the universe. Like, no, you have to. And the fact that it's like, I'm gonna say this, they're paid for the shows that they're contracted to be a part of. So like when Amber Lynn Reed was on the LCU, she was only contracted to be a part of the Lolcow Hero and Lolcow Bus shows on it. Hi, Baby Geico, and hi, Pac-Man. So the fact at all that it is in their contract that you have to show up on other shows is fucking diabolical and unbelievably exploitative. Because again, there are a lot of other people that are involved in the LCU that work normal jobs, and to expect that of your employers or your employees is gross. You can't. It's like asking them to work overtime and then you don't pay them for the overtime. It's just icky. So then, consideration. Host acknowledges that the host participation provides hosts with access to company parties, audience relationships, production infrastructure, brand goodwill, sponsor relationships, and confidential information, which constitutes good and valuable consideration. It's like you're not getting paid for what you're going to do on these other shows, but you get the exposure. Hey, exposure doesn't pay the fucking bills, Keem. It's just crazy that that's in the contract at all, especially because if you really consider the LCU, they're paid hourly. They're only paid for the shows that they participate in. For the most part, we'll get to kind of some exceptions in a second, but you're asking them for unpaid overtime. What a fucking diabolical. Sniff Lounge, I was so excited for the T-Pain Smosh collab. I keep forgetting that T-Pain is like a friend of the channel for Smosh. It just boggles my mind. So it's crazy that it's like you have to accept working overtime, working these hours and shows, because mind you, some of the LCU is a network designed to go 24 hours a day. You're encouraged to participate in other shows. It's like, what's stopping this from being like, well, you didn't participate in enough other shows? Like, okay, well, I can only jump on to these other two shows because they're within my time frame. What's stopping him from getting mad and saying you're violating the contract? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Payment contingent on compliance. I want to skip ahead so we can get to more of, so I don't have to like, I want to be able to read all of it. Oh yeah, he interrupts and he gives his own commentary and stuff on the, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and read what we got so far and then try to skim this video and find the rest of this paragraph. So, Section 3, payment is contingent upon compliance. To the extent the host is entitled to receive any future payment, deferred compensation, installed payments, profit participation, or other post-participation compensation from company parties, collectively deferred payments. I want to know who wrote this contract, by the way. This is the most convoluted fucking contract I've ever seen in my life. Like, this looks stupid. Hosts' ongoing compliance with sections 5 through 10 of this agreement shall be the material condition precedent to hosts' entitlement to receive such deferred payments. Moonlight Dog, this is crazy. Keem's not a good boss or good person. He just wants control and doesn't care. Absolutely. And I think that, I mean, for a thing in a company like the LCU, you do have to have contracts in place. And if this were just quite literally just a basic non-compete agreement, I would understand. I'd be like, okay, you know what? Fair enough. While you're employed by the LCU, you cannot go on other shows or other stuff like that. That would make sense to me because that's a very traditional corporate non-compete. But this is just saying, I'll pay you what I want based off of how much you're willing to do for me. And I think that's disgusting, actually. In the event the host breaches any provisions of sections 5 through 10 following termination of host participation in the show, including but not limiting to engaging in prohibited live streaming during the restricted period. I want to continue this. Aussie Cobb. Okay, so this is actually where he starts narrating the... Okay. In the event the host breaches any provisions, sections 5 through 10, following termination of host participation in the show, including but not limited to engaging in prohibited live stream activity during the restricted period, then A, host shall immediately forfeit any unpaid deferred payments not yet distributed as of the date of breach, and B, company parties... Who wrote this? Who fucking wrote this? Hold on. There we go. Sorry, no one told me we couldn't see. I'm just reading this shit. Okay. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? This is a horrible, 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 horrible contract at all. Company parties... you should eat the donut, corn dog Katie. You should eat the donut. To quote Jill Vertes from Dance Moms, I want a donut. Company parties shall have no further obligation to make any future deferred payments to hosts following such breach. So I'm gonna tell you something right now. Even if you violate a company handbook or company party, you cannot withhold payment from your employees. I don't know if he knows that. And again, it's the internet, so it is really hard to determine what state laws has to abide by in terms of employment. I believe California, because no, he's on the East Coast. He's on the East Coast. I don't know which state. So it's hard to determine that aspect of it all. But I wouldn't be surprised if Keem wrote this. It looks like it was written for a high school project. It does. This looks like a standard high school layout. This doesn't look like an official contract or any lawyer wrote this. Host acknowledges that the deferred payments are conditioned upon host post-participation compliance with this agreement and are not earned unless all applicable compliance obligations are satisfied. Cammy Kick, I'm not an internet lawyer or anything, but I'm really confident this contract is illegal. I'm 100% confident this contract is illegal. Again, there should be nothing in place. If it's not illegal, it's shady as fuck to put it in the contract that if you don't follow whatever Keemstar wants you to do, all of his crazy demands, you cannot get paid for the work that you did while you were employed there. I think that is such fucking bullshit. Because here's the thing: even if, let's say, you work in corporate, right? Let's say I work for a corporate bank or whatever, and I, start talking and schmoozing with a competitor bank. Now, I violated my non-compete with the bank I work at. That doesn't mean they can't fucking pay me. It doesn't mean they're allowed to not pay me. What the fuck? I don't, and again, let's say I work at Target and they ask me to work overtime and I just say I'm not going to work overtime. They can't go, okay, well, I'm not going to pay you at all for the hours you did work. That's not allowed. You cannot do it. And I do know that a few of the hosts, at least Steak and Nightmare, have wanted to pursue legal action against Keemstar because it seems like he doesn't enforce this contract enough with certain people. Again, we saw with Amber Lynn Reed. They were allowed to break the contract because Keem liked them enough. And I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like you can't enforce this contract for some, but not for all. Let's continue the contract. It's illegal in Kentucky for sure. You can, however, pay the last paycheck at minimum wage. Exactly. So because we'll get further into the contract and there's bonuses and stuff, or Keem can pay these people pretty much however he wants if he likes them enough. And sure, he can just pay them whatever bare minimum wage, not including whatever, but you can't just not pay them. And someone at high school did basically high school essay with ChatGPT. I think he used ChatGPT-2 Moonlight Doll. I really do. So host agrees that host agrees that the forfeiture of unpaid deferment payments in the event of breach is reasonable and reflects the parties' agreement that continued post-participation compliance is essential to protecting the company parties' goodwill and sponsorship relationships. What fucking sponsorships, Keem. What sponsorships is the LCU getting? No, show me after G Fuel dropped your ass. What sponsorships are you getting, motherfucker? Okay, let's continue. Mamo de best squirrel. That's why contracts are made off of facts, not feelings. Just a breezing by. That's why he deals with the people he does. They don't have the funds and means to fight him for wages. And that goes to a great point. That's a great point, just breezing by. It's not only the fact that I can guarantee you a lot of the people that work for the LCU are not the brightest bulbs in the box. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed. So not only do they not understand that these contracts are exploitative, but also they're people that are probably just desperate for an extra source of income. And he's doing the MLM pyramid marketing scheme of, oh, you can make a ton of money if you work at the LCU, yada, 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 this, that, and the third, which is why I believe he let Amberlynn Reed out of her contract. Now, I don't think Amberlynn has the money on hand, but I think he knows that Amberlynn could get the money to sue his ass. And I think that's why he let her out of the contract, because it's not fair. That's why lawyers write contracts. Yeah, I don't think a lawyer touched this with a 10-foot fucking pole. Ownership of content. All contributions by hosts relating to the show, whether created on air or off air, and whether created alone or jointly, including but not limited to recorded audio and video, clips, edits, show segments, topic, bits, catchphrases, structures, titles, sponsor reads, guest lists, outlines, roadmaps, production notes, thumbnails, captions, metadata, community posts, and planning materials shall all be work made for hire by the company to the maximum extent permitted under U.S. copyright law, and to the extent not work made for hire, irrevocably designed by host to company, including copyrights and neighboring rights. What the fuck? Hey, what the fuck is this part? This part got me so good. When I read this, I was like, there's no way this is real. So what this part is saying in layman's terms is that any part of your life, anything that you say, anything you create, anything that makes you recognizable as a content creator belongs to the LCU permanently, which, if I remember right, was one of Zay's problems when she was trying to transfer over to her own channel, because there was a lot of the emojis and artwork and stuff like that Zay made, and they were her jokes. She couldn't take them with her. That is so fucked up, because once again, he frames this whole thing as, we are building you up to be the next generation of streamers, yada, 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 false promises. And yet anything that makes them recognizable, you keep. You have to keep. It belongs to you. It's so fucking dumb. Signing something doesn't circumvent the laws. It doesn't, Sarah. You're absolutely right. Strawberry Cinnamon Roll, we are going over the leaked LCU host contract because it's so unbelievably exploitative. And here's the thing too. If a host commissions artwork, if a host, like, it's so crazy that when you sign this contract to join the LCU, you forfeit your right to exist, pretty much. And also says, again, all contributions made by the host relating to the show, whether created on air or off air, which means every part of your life, you agree to make content of it. Like, this is why we say, oh, Keemstar doesn't care about privacy. Keemstar doesn't care about this. He doesn't care about whatever. Because it's written in the contract that whatever you do while you're working for the LCU can be made content. So when people get mad or frustrated, like, oh, this shouldn't have been aired on camera, this shouldn't have been done, whatever, he made it so it has to be. So it's like, you no longer have a personal life. You no longer have privacy or a sense of self because you sold your fucking soul to the fucking garden gnome. Jesus Christ. All it takes is one person to show this to a judge and deem Keem is in trouble. Absolutely. Because there's so many just human right violations here. There's no OSHA. Can someone take this to OSHA? Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, again, what gets me is created on air. If this were just stuff created on air, I would understand it. That's intellectual copyright, right? It was posted, distributed by the LCU. It would make sense. But adding off air is so fucking disgusting. So that means any fan art distributed in the LCU Discord, belongs to Keem. any emojis commissioned by the artists that are used on the channel or used in the Discord belong to Keemstar now. Anything that you've said from host to host belongs to Keemstar now. It's so disgusting, dude. A pink chubby, you sold your soul to the garden gnome. I'm pretty sure that happened to one of my Sims 4 files. Hi, Andrea Ossie. God. I can't imagine anyone with a brain would sign these contracts. Really, I can't. I'm so surprised. Oh, shoot, I skipped 5. I want to go to, unless this video skips 5. I think they do. Damn it. Okay, so in this video specifically, subsection 5 is not included. So we're just going to go over the next one, which is confidentiality. Host shall not disclose, use, or exploit communication to any third party and any non-public information related to the show or company parties. Oops. Fuck you. Which includes unaired footage, raw recordings, outtakes, drafts, and planning documents, sponsor rates, deal terms, revenue splits, budgets, invoices, and contracts, guest pipelines, contact info, booking tactics, internal calendars, yada, yada, yada. Hey, actually, this doesn't say you're not allowed to share the contract. Wait a minute. This doesn't say you're not allowed to share the contract. Oh, yeah, it does. Never mind. Fuck. Contracts. Shit. Fuck. Well, I don't work for the LCU. So fuck you, Keem. Non-solicitation, non-circumvention during host term on the show and for 60 days after the host's last participation or publication date featuring the host. Host shall not directly or indirectly solicit or attempt to solicit any sponsor, advertiser, business partner, guest, contract, editor, producer, moderator, vendor, or service provider of the show in connection with any competing product. Which he'd been making the claim that for some of them, when the viewers and crowns and like pay pigs and stuff left, it was violating the contract, but there's nothing in here that says you can't take your viewers with you. Induce or attempt to induce any member of the show team to terminate or reduce involvement with the show. Use company parties, sponsor contacts, rate, deal history, or relationship information to obtain sponsorships for a competing project. What gets me about this, though, too, is the fact that, like, they can't fucking control that. Like, let's say, for example, let's say I'll use Zay Zooted as my example. Let's say Zay Zooted was approached by HelloFresh for a partnership. They're like, hey, we want to partner with you. We saw you on the LCU. We like your channel, yada, yada, yada. What is she supposed to do? Say no? Oh, sorry, I can't. They reached out to her first. That's such a brain dead fucking thing. Like, this is so brain dead. Competed project means audio, video, commentary, drama, reaction-based show, materially similar in concept, audience, and monetization approach to the show. Which, again, is you can't copyright a concept. So the fact that he's trying to be like, well, it violates the contract if you do anything similar to the way the LCU is run. That's any commentary channel on the planet. What are you talking about, dog? That's every fucking especially because if you, other than like live, none of the shows have an identity. They all kind of just react to shit. So it's like, if you do any reactionary or commentary-based content at all, you're violating this contract? Like, what? This fucking gets me, dude. I don't understand how anybody, like, with a brain could sign this. Really, I don't. Which maybe, I've been shitting on Zio. Maybe she was smart because she didn't sign this. Whatever. Confirmation information, goodwill, and unique creative and commercial structure. During the restricted period, host shall not create, produce, co-host, write for, promote a copycat show defined as a recurring program, podcast series, channel format, live stream series that A, uses or imitates the show confidential planning material, segment structure, show Bible, internal formats, or sponsored guest strategy.
Into
Again,
Keemstar is anything.
Sorry, I didn't want to start this. Sorry, guy. What are you fucking talking about, dude? Again, it's a most of these are basic drama reaction channels. Like you can't it's the same thing that reminds me of that girl who tried to claim that she copyrighted a cake pop recipe. You cannot copyright a concept. Like, again, if he's gonna go for this, is somebody like, I don't know, Dinky Jabo copying you? Let's talk about iNabber. Is iNabber copying the LCU because he talks about Amber Lynn Reid and shit like that? Like, what are we doing here? This isn't real. B markets itself as a replacement, continuation, or spin-off, or the real version of the show. That's the only thing that I could be like, okay, this in this contract, like, you cannot market it as like, oh, spin-off of locale, whatever. That makes sense. Uses confidential information or behind-the-scenes distribution in disputes internal decision-making as content material, or leverages the show's goodwill by confusingly similar naming, branding, or positioning. The only thing is marketing itself as a replacement and using similar naming and branding. Those are the only two things that are like realistically could get you in trouble. But saying that you cannot make content similar, a judge is going to laugh in your fucking face if you try to enforce this shit. So the LCU is copying Girl World if they talk about ALR. Exactly. So cut Jordy his fucking check then. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing here? For clarity, the hosts may create non-abridging original programs, do not use confidential information, or imitate protected show elements. So you already contradicted yourself. You're saying, well, you can't do anything similar to the show, but you can do something similar to the show if you don't use the same elements. What? You just said that they couldn't. This section is intended to prevent unfair competition and misappropriation, not to restrict lawful competition generally. Again, what are we talking about, dude? If the person likes the host and the host leaves and continues to make content, even if it is so derivative from what LCU is, like, even if they become a fucking Minecraft YouTuber, there's that audience that liked that host is not gonna stay with you, my guy. I don't get it. Temporary live stream hiatus and trolling. Go back. Temporary live stream hiatus of recording. Host acknowledges that the host's on-air persona, goodwill, and audience associate. I think we've discovered. I didn't get this far into the contract. I think we've discovered why ALR's personality has suddenly shifted into something so unlikable. I think it's definitely to cover her ass, or not to cover her ass, sorry, to entice a woman. But she's claiming, Amber Lynn is claiming she played a character in the LCU. She has to change who she is. Wait, that's fucking tea. Because she can't act like that. She can't do all that crazy shit on live anymore. Because that's in this contract. It's LCU property. Wait, that's so fucking tea. What about the people on the shows who that's just like their personality? What are they supposed to do then? That's so fucking tea. No unauthorized use. No, host shall not use, publish, or distribute, repost, sell, or monetize any show materials outside of authorized releases, including clips, recording, raw. Again, the only thing is like assets, unaired footage, and like what is, like, you can't. Again, when you post something to the internet, as long as it's transformative, it's fair use. They can use whatever the fuck that they want. It's fair use. What are we doing here? What? This is so fucking crazy! Section 11, during the term and 12 months thereafter, host shall not make any statements that are materially disparaging or harmful to the reputation or goodwill of the show. So they cannot talk shit. You can't police that. You can't do that. Ken's counseling couch. Contracts only apply to the parties who sign it. A company can own things you invent while employed with them a bunch of ways. You can choose to restrict yourself to a lot of contract terms. Exactly. And that's why I think this contract is so exploitative, because it's doing whatever it can and it's adding whatever clauses it possibly can to restrict whatever bozo signs this that signs it. So, like, for people who sign this, like, you put yourself in this fucking hole that everything you said, did, or had done at the LCU, oh well, it's not yours anymore. You put yourself in a shitty situation because you signed this. You don't have to sign it. I just think that this one is crazy. Non-disparagement is crazy because you cannot police that. Like, again, you can, it's at will. So if they talk shit about the show or the company while they work there, you can fire them. But that's a complete violation on the United States First Amendment. This could only work if they work overseas. Like, if they're one of the two Australians, fine, you can get them that way. But like, that is a complete violation of the First Amendment. They have every right to talk their shit if they want to. Like, you cannot enforce that. That is not punishable by law. You can't fucking force that. Return of property, access removal. Again, this one does make sense. You can sue for violation of the contract, Ken, but the thing is the fact that for Keemstar specifically, if he were to try and enforce any aspect of this contract, he's so willy-nilly with this contract and who he's willing to let violate the contract, and very open about who he's willing to let violate the contract. And a lot of these, especially in the United States, go against a lot of state laws and federal laws. There's no fucking shot. There's no shot, dude. And usually non-disparagements are used during employment. Non-disparagements are usually found during employment. Like, I signed one for the company I work for. That's why I don't say where I work. But like, I can't talk shit about my employer because I signed that. But once I leave, I absolutely can. Like, that's the thing. Non-disparagements are typically only used for while you're employed there. Because once again, once you are no longer employed by the company, you can. Return of property of access removals. This actually makes a lot of sense because, again, you cannot have access to company property in any way, shape, or form once you no longer work for something. Exactly, we get a lawsuit if that happened. It's just that this is, again, for people who stuff like this on the internet is always a little bit trickier with law, because state laws can vary they vary so significantly. So some of this stuff would be a little bit harder, but there's certain things that just kind of violate federal employment law, that like whatever exploitative contract you sign does not trump federal law. It just doesn't. And to be honest, the first person who saw this should have taken Keem to court, because this is unbelievably exploitative and violates so many workplace things. More than DNA, I think Keem would only sue someone he felt he had profited enough to make the cost of litigation worth it for him, especially somebody not in New York. Great point. That's why I think that he was willing to break the contract for somebody like Amber Lynn Reed or somebody like, for example, Billy the Fridge, because they made enough money that they could sue him back. They could countersue. Some of this stuff, though, like, makes absolute sense. Like, this entire subsection 12, return of property and access removal. Yeah, if you don't work there anymore, you can't fucking keep access to this shit. Of course, this makes sense. Unbelievably. Same thing with deleting copies, returning all the materials. Like, this makes sense. This part of it's like, this makes sense. And the only things that should have been in here were this, the non-compete clause, and the non-disparagement agreement should have been changed to just while you're participating in the show. Because once you're not participating in the show, what can you do? Like, genuinely, what can you do? Because, again, violation of free speech. But if you're like Australian, fuck you, I guess. This one goes on for a little bit, but again, this one makes sense to me at least. Like, you can't keep access to this stuff if you no longer work for the company. Injunctive relief, equitable remedies. Host agrees that the breach of subsections 4 through 11 may cause irreparable harm. Company policies may seek injunctive relief in New York courts without the need to post bond or damages. And attorney fees. Host acknowledges that unauthorized live streaming during the restricted period where was I at? May result in diversion of audience goodwill sponsorship opportunities in a manner that cannot be adequately compensated by monetary damages. To the maximum extent permitted by the law, company parties shall not be required to post or bond or undertaking in any connection with seeking injunctive or equitable relief under this agreement. Yeah, but Ken, if they don't work for you, you cannot control what they say. You can't. Because realistically, oh, you can take them to court, but like, do they work for you? No. Oh, fucking well. They didn't work for you. They owe you nothing. If you are no longer employed by a company, you don't owe them fucking jack shit, dog. You don't owe them anything. Severability. If any provision is held unenforceable, the parties agree that court may modify the provision to the maximum extent necessary to make it enforceable. The remaining provisions will remain in full force. Is held unenforceable? The parties agree that the court may modify the provision to the maximum extent necessary. The remaining provisions will remain in full force. I'm trying to understand. This is worded so poorly. As an English major, this entire thing is worded so fucking poorly. I'm really trying to understand. If any provision is held unenforceable, the parties agree that the court may modify the provision. To me, somebody who can read, this is saying, hey, if the courts decide that these are unenforceable, then we will extend it to what makes it enforceable. Which is just like, what the fuck? Host is an independent contractor. That makes sense. Print it out, correct it with the red. That would be fine. Yeah, because this is like not worded correctly, like whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. Because what gets me is the severability clause. First of all, why is it called severability? That doesn't make any sense. Parties agree that the court may modify the provision to the minimum extent necessary to make it enforceable, and the remaining provisions will remain enforced. What? Because what gets me about clause 14, what gets me about subsection 14 is the fact that it's like, well, the court can say that this is only held for a minimum extent, so whatever. So it's like, if this was taken to court, for example, and they're talking about the non-disparagement agreement, this looks like a high school U.S. It does. It looks like a high school U.S. government paper. It does. Any agreement shall be governed by the laws of New York, without regards to conflict of law. Any dispute shall be brought to the state or federal courts located in Erie County, New York. I want to look up specific laws for Erie County, New York, then, because I want to know. County, New York. Let's do some of my favorite ones. I want to do non-compete agreements. If there's any specific laws. New York County, Erie County does not have specific laws for non-compete agreements. Instead, you are governed by statewide New York common law. Courts generally view non-competes with skepticism, will enforce them if they are strictly limited in time, geographic scope, and necessary to protect the employer's legitimate assets. So for that non-compete where they're talking about like, oh, you can't stream on your personal channel every day, a court's going to look at that and be like, they're going to look at that pretty skeptically. Okay. So again, and be reasonable in scope restrictions. So if let's say, for example, one of the two members of the LCU that left, like some of the current members, Steak, Nightmare, or Zay, they went on their channel. They didn't release any private LCU conversations. They were just doing their channel. They were streaming. Most likely, a non-compete suit is going to get thrown out because they aren't actually doing trade secrets, confidential information, or unique client relationships. Because when you talk about a unique client relationship with the LCU, you're talking about audiences, and audiences have free will. So you can't be like, oh, well, they stole an audience from me. They stole a pay pig from me. Yeah, no shit. So let's also do the non-disparagement law. That's not what it's called. What was that one that I had such fucking issue with it? Not return of property. That one makes sense to me. To be so fucking for real with you, it makes so much sense. Yeah, non-disparagement. I was right. Employers cannot enforce provisions that restrict you from discussing workplace discrimination, retaliation, or harassment, which is a primary complaint with the LCU. So, for example, let's talk about Zay Zudu. When she's talking about the unfair treatment she's received by Keem, getting screamed at and talking shit about just the hostile workplace, she can't get sued. Federal limitations. The Speak Out Act makes any non-disparagement or non-disclosure clause entered before a dispute has arisen legally unenforceable regarding claims of sexual assault or sexual harassment. So any complaints, any person that left the LCU that's talking about Iceman is legally protected. The NLRB guidance, the National Labor Relations Board, limits severance agreements from broadly waiving your rights under the National Labor Relations Act, generally protecting your rights to speak negatively about your employer's labor practice. So whoever was arguing with me that, this is not enforceable in the state of New York. It's not. I just read you all the provisions. It's not enforceable by the state of New York. This contract would get a laugh out of the court. Exactly. This is not, there's very few things in here that are genuinely would be considered in a court of law. Like very genuinely, especially because we're talking about the internet here. We are talking about the internet here. And because the internet is such a free for all, like we talk about this all the time regarding stuff like, cyberbullying and stuff like that. One of the reasons it's so hard is because the internet has an intrinsic right to free speech. Like they have that intrinsic right to say what you want on the internet. That's unfortunately just the nature of the game, which is, again, why a lot of cyberbullying cases tend to get thrown to the wayside. So with a lot of these protections he's trying to put in place with the LCU, it's just not going to work. Once again, it's the internet. If this were a traditional workplace, these would still be exploitative, but likely a little bit more enforceable. But again, one of the biggest things a lot of these people talk about is the fact that Keem is a negligent and unfair employer. In the state county he lists, they're able to talk about that. An unsafe work environment is able to be spoken about disparagingly. So he can't do anything. There's nothing he can do, quite frankly. But does that apply to employees or contractors? The rules are different for them usually. They are funded by state acts. They are applied to all. They are protected by several state acts in the state of New York because New York's far more progressive in terms of stuff like sexual harassment, employee harassment, and things like that. That's why, again, when he put the county in there, he put the state in there. It's not hard to look up state law. Oh, thanks to that member. I don't know who those are. Those are not my members.
That's how Kalo
I
is
agree.
protected.
Yeah, he's I first of all, a horribly written. Also, should this not be notarized? If this is going to be like a contract to be held to the highest of standards, should this not be notarized? He would not want to sue anyone unless he thinks his clause has no skeletons that we brought out in civil court. More than DNA, unbelievably true. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there were a lot of like drama alert company skeletons in that closet. Corn Dog Katie used to be notary. So even if it's a contract like this for independent contractors, would this still need to be notarized? Am I correct? Am I correct? Please let me know. I feel like this would still have to be notarized. Hi, Sky Fieri. Ooh, Keemstar employs interns without following the intern law. That's a great point. That is a great point. That's actually a fantastic point. I completely forgot about intern law. I completely forgot about it. You're so right. I'm waiting for Corn Dog Katie's answer because I think you would still have to notarize this. Am I not mistaken? Yeah, more. I would love to look into what working at like Drama Alert was like. He's never notarized the contract, so he's breaking the laws. I think you're right. I think you are correct. Yes, he needs 7 requirements. It depends. It's best to do it for legal reasons. We do some contracts, but they want it notarized, but some people didn't care. Okay. So just like for safekeeping, it should be notarized, not just like signed. If it's notarized, it's basically airtight. And we have no clue if these are notarized or not, but they should be. But the fact that it's just like this document, it's just like one of the things that's so hard to enforce, especially with the internet. Again, unless you're arguing fair use. No, we're going to argue fair use here as well, because this is what's going on with a lot of like the Ethan Klein lawsuits that are getting dropped and stuff like that. Is the fact that one of the things they said, well, you can't use clips. Well, that's if they're transformative, they're fair use, so they're fair fucking game. Like, Keem is very suspicious with the contract. He definitely does not deserve money for the people. Yeah, it's what gets, again, we're learning we're getting a lot of this too, and we're a lot more is getting exposed, especially with fair use. Because one thing that also gets me is the fact that, like, well, you can't use any clips, you can't talk disparagingly, because the thing is, right, we're learning a lot of this because I'm watching a lot of the coverage with the Ethan Klein lawsuits that are getting dropped by Denims and a bunch of the other ones, that as long as it's transformative and it falls under fair use and critique. So, for example, if I'm going to keep using Zay, if Zay keeps talking about the LCU and uses the clips or whatever, as long as she's providing enough transformative commentary, Keen can't do jack shit about it because it falls under fair use. Like, even if it's like, well, you can't react to clips, well, that violates the fair use clause. That violates fair use law. I don't know what to tell you, my guy. Keem scares people with his money. Some can't afford it anyway. A notary is essentially like, well, Princess, you didn't say that. I heard, and so did Mad Yikes area too. Yeah, he scares people with his money. One of the things and that's why I think that this entire contract is so unbelievably exploitative. This contract is exploitative because it's scaring whoever is signing this, that, like, if you violate anything like this, I'm going to completely destroy you. And there's so many people that don't have the money to, find a lawyer that'll look this over and point out all the flaws in the contract. Because that's the other thing too. But before you sign any contract, please get a lawyer. Please get a lawyer to look at it with you. Because any lawyer that would look over this would be like, don't fucking sign this. that would be like, A, first of all, this entire thing is garbage. B, don't sign it. So it's a great point with the sexual harassment she's received during her time there. Exactly. And she's talked about it too. She's talked about it with the sexism and misogyny in a hostile work environment as well. So she's unbelievably within her rights to critique the LCU. All up, hey guys, I think Amber's trying to get monetized again. She should come back to the LCU. She knows her channel is done for. Exactly. And we're talking about this too, because one of the things that was mentioned was a host's personality is copyrighted to the LCU, which is kind of why she's acting like whatever ditzy blonde she wants to act. But this is exploitative because if somebody doesn't know any better, to get a lawyer to look at this and be like, don't sign it, everything that they do at the LCU becomes null and void once they leave, if they choose to leave. Even though they signed it, it would contain illegality, so it would be struck from the clause. That's what I would think too. And again, I specifically for the state, I don't live on the East Coast. I'm more familiar with the two states I have lived in, California state law and Arizona state law. And again, laws like this, employer laws, vary state by state. So, that's why the guy that got rich separated from Keem and didn't sign it and told other people not to as well. Exactly. Like this is just something, if you show this to a lawyer, they would tell you not to sign it. They would tell you not to sign it. And because it's exploitative. It's unbelievably exploitative. You can't agree to exploitation of yourself. This contract is bullshit. So, and it's also what also would be the downfall to him trying to actually enforce this contract in a court of law would be the amount of times he's let people break this contract. The amount of time. Because then what's the point of making the contract if you're just going to break it to anybody you like? Like at that point, you've put the onus on yourself for this to not be enforceable in a court of law. It's just ridiculous. Some of this stuff is unbelievably ridiculous. Especially, again, payment. New York state law is very accurate. Okay. I need to do more research into, because again, it doesn't affect 99% of New York state law doesn't affect me. So I don't know a lot about very specific employment laws in the state of New York. So I don't know a lot of the very specifics. That's why I had to look up the ones that I was especially curious about. I am curious about payment compliance. I wonder if there's any new, it was Erie County, New York, independent contractor payment law. Let's see what it is. Ooh, okay. Under New York's Freelance Isn't Free Act, independent contractors are guaranteed timely payments and written contracts. In Erie County, businesses hiring independent contractors for services valued at $800 or more must provide a detailed written contract outlining the work, compensation rate, and the exact pay date. Stipulations of the law include written contract requirements. Agreements must include both parties' names and addresses, and itemization of services, the rate of pay, and the payment due date. If no payment date is specified, payment is legally due within 30 days of service completion. Timely payment, a payment must be made on or before the agreed upon date. Late payment or partial payment violates the act. Damages and penalties. If you are not paid by the full due date, you can file a civil lawsuit or a complaint with the New York State Departments of Labor. Prevailing contractors can recover double the unpaid amount and double damages for failure to provide a contract plus attorney fees. Statute of limitations, you have 2 years to file a claim. Exceptions, a lot is generally don't apply to construction contractors, medical professionals, or attorney. So is the project worth $800 or more? Was there a written agreement? How many days past is the due date is the payment? So if you're an independent contractor, Nikki T, welcome to the chat, Nikki. Holy shit. Let me read the chat. I was too busy reading the independent contractor laws. They're contractors because technically they're self-employed, I get. That's why he ran off to get married. That means he can't act as an employer if the oh my god, there's so many people in the chat today. Hi guys. Yeah, so basically what that says is there is no way, without violating the Freelance Isn't Free Act in the state of New York, Keem can get away with not paying his contractors. Especially also because, like, this contract doesn't actually give anybody a start date, a compensation rate, or anything. So automatically, anybody signing this contract that is working for Keem LLC as an independent contractor, this contract violates that act immediately and is null and void because you don't provide any payment information. Well, Millennial Girl, oh my God. Hello, everybody. I'm seeing so many people in the chat. We'll get to you guys are usually Rosie people. We'll get to Rosie. I'm psyched. Hi, everybody. Wow. This just feels exploitative in so many goddamn ways. And again, it's hard for me to feel bad for people who signed this contract, because if you know Daniel Keem for anything, he is nothing but exploitative. But it's still like taking advantage of the people you work for and scaring them into not questioning what their rights are as an employer, as a contractor, is fucking disgusting. And again, somebody mentioned intern law. I want to look up intern law in the state of New York, because what we know about the LCU is he'll pick people that have auditioned for the show. Right. I should know more about this because I wanted to be an actor in New York at some point, but also there are unions for actors. So that's beside the point. I want to talk about the intern law in the state of New York, because I think that's another important point, because in New York law, for people who don't know how Keemstar picks his interns, they pretty much audition for the show, and if he likes them, they get the intern role. But let's see. No, what laws protect interns in New York? Because I know that they exist. Interns in New York are protected under the New York State Human Rights Law, the New York State Minimum Wage Act, and the Fair Labor Standards Act. Interns are entitled to state minimum wage and overtime. For profit, unpaid interns are only legally exempt if they meet specific strict criteria from the New York State Department of Labor, which ensures that the primary beneficiary is the intern. So what are those exceptions? The employment relationship does not exist if the situation meets all these criteria. In training, even though includes actual operation of the employer's facility. So Keem could argue that they are training. So that's one thing they could argue. The training is for the benefit of the intern. The intern does not displace regular employees and works under close supervision. Already out, because Keem is not supervising these people consistently. I'm personally here for the LCU contract. Thank you, Nikki T. Does anyone know where his talent agency LLC is based? According to the contract, it is held in Erie County, New York. So all the law is following Erie County, New York. And if Erie County, New York does not have specific provisions in place, then it goes to New York state law. So I was going to read more of that intern law, the protections for interns. And for an intern to go unpaid, you have to meet all of the criteria under the state of New York. So Keem is hiring these interns and having them do work, and they are not getting paid. And Zay confirmed that when she was an intern, she didn't get paid other than from Mike's own pocket, which is disgusting. Nikki T, I wonder if they actually have contracts or if they are just volunteers, basically. I don't know. That's a great question. If the interns have a separate contract or they're basically just volunteers, which I think it's a worthy question, 100%. Because again, all of those interns that he brings in should be getting paid for what they're doing. Again, because they're asked to do work, and you have to fall under every single reasoning to not be paid. I'd almost bet that they are not technically interns on his books. Probably not. No, they're volunteers, 100%. Especially because anybody who works at the LCU can get demoted at any point for whatever reason and demoted to intern, or get their host role taken away. Which, by the way, if all of this contract was to be like your host role will be taken away for any of the following impunities, fine. fair enough. But like, I don't understand like any of this shit. This is just, again, like, exploitative to the nth degree, to the point where, again, the average person who works for the LCU probably isn't going to read this. It's just like, no, I agree, Ken. You can't get out of it because you didn't read it. 100%. You can't just get out of it. The problem is Keem himself has made this contract pretty much unenforceable, simply because, for whatever reason, if he likes the person, he'll ignore the contract. He'll be like, I ripped up the contract, it's fine. Which, if it's not notarized, he can get away with. But like, when you take any violation of this contract to the board, you'd be like, hey, but here's all the exceptions he's made for everybody else. How's that gonna look? How's that gonna look to an average court of law? They're like, oh, well, shit, it's actually, he's not even enforcing his own contract. This is crazy work. So again, this entire thing was leaked, or not leaked, but this was posted by Aussie Cobb. They do a lot of commentary on the LCU as a whole. I think that, like, or most of them probably don't understand what the contract means. Get a contract review by a lawyer if you have any questions about it. Thank you, Ken's Counseling Couch. Absolutely. Never sign shit like this without a lawyer, because if you actually like handed a lawyer this contract, it's like, hey, can you look over this for me and like tell me if it's all copacetic? They would say, no, this isn't. Don't sign this. Like, request addendums to the contract because you're not signing this. This is unbelievably exploitative. It reminds me a lot of like when the girls talk about the early Dance Moms contracts and how exploitative the early Dance Moms contracts were. That reminds me a lot of this. So I hate Turbo, but he's goated for leaking this, actually. He's really goated for leaking this. It's also, again, I just don't quite... Amber definitely didn't read it. She just signed to feel like an adult, 100%. Because, again, if she did, like, that's why I think she's censoring herself. Because, like, it's in here. Let me find it. No amount of money could be worth this crap. No, especially because, again, most of the hosts don't make that much money. And if we go back to the beginning, since it doesn't give you, it doesn't give them actual pay rates. A lot of the wording of this contract is implicit to it being like, you get paid whatever Keem feels like you deserve to get paid, not what you actually earned. Which is, because again, to the extent the host is entitled to receive any future payments, deferred compensation, stall payment, profit, or participation, or other host post-participation compensation from company parties, host ongoing compliance with sections 5 through 10 on this agreement shall be a material condition precedent to host's entitlement to receive such deferred payments. So it's pretty much like how you comply to these rules is how you're getting paid. So, for example, like if Keemstar thinks, I don't know, who still works there? Foxy. If Keem thinks Foxy is complying to all of these rules exponentially, she's going to get a bigger pay cut than she would have before. It's not that even split that they make you think it is, because this contract isn't worded like that. It's the, like, it's just odd. It's just unbelievably odd that it's that way. Because again, like, if you're signing any kind of independent contractor, if you're signing any kind of independent contractor contract, it has to have your wages and the date of your wages. So this should include a pay date for every month, how much you are getting paid, etc., etc. It's specified that specifically contract non-employees. Keem is not their employer. That is a fair point, but Keem LLC and Daniel and affiliated entities as applicable with company parties and blank host. So it's still between whatever this person is, the company, and Keem. But he definitely acts like one. Could he write that off as a character? He could. Those are just words. They're tested as the law implies. They will see him as an employer. Especially because this is the internet, you have a lot of evidence. He calls himself their employer. Again, if you are note for everybody, if you're an independent contractor and you're signing an independent contractor contract, first of all, don't sign it if you don't see a pay rate and a pay date anywhere. Also, especially because typically for an independent contractor, you're not contracted for that long of a time. You're not. You guys are mentally fucked up 100%. And that's why, again, most of them are also poor and down on their luck and not getting a lawyer to look at this. And that's why he can scare them with, like, Keem won't sue. I'm going to tell you right now, even if these were like, if this was a rock solid NDA, a rock solid contract, Keem wouldn't sue. There's no fucking way he would do it. You can also get a contract thrown out if you're a treated like employee instead of a contractor. 100%. And Ken, this is where a lot of the LCU problems come in, because Keem treats these people like an employee, not a contractor. And that's a very, very valid argument, right? Because for an independent contractor, when you're contracted to do an assignment, it's specifically for a set period of time. There is no set period of time. If you are locked into the LCU, you're locked in for life, according to Keem. And at that point, at what point are you a contractor? At what point are you not just an employee? Where did Turbo leak this? I don't remember. Let me see if it's in the description of this channel. This is Aussie Cop. He just did a recap of who actually leaked it. Oh, it gives the original live stream. So Turbo leaked this too. I'm going to play. Again, don't mind the stream being a little laggy when we actually get to videos. For people who aren't new here, my computer broke. I'm borrowing somebody else's. Let me see who this is. Give me a second, or let it take a second. This is, I know this used to be an LCU host as well, and he said he didn't sign this contract. Also, what makes it crazy is that Keem has stated before that the contract is optional. Like, he said before, like when Amber Lynn signed the contract, that it was completely fucking optional. They didn't have to sign it. This is Clout Control. So this was originally by Clout Control and it was originally leaked by Belushi. I don't know who Belushi is. I know he used to be a host of the LCU.
Holy God, what are you showing me?
Shut up.
Come on.
Yo, guys, it's Ozzy back in another video. Hope you're all doing well.
Thank you. Shut up. Yeah, he said optional, which again, like, if you're gonna enforce this shit, you don't make the contract optional. There's so many things he's said and done that it's just like, well, you signed the contract. Yes. You take it to a court and they're like, here's all the evidence of why this contract is bullshit. And then you give them here's all the reasons why this contract is bullshit. Here's all the people he's let out of the exact same contract for whatever fuck. And it's also if everybody signing the same contract, at what point are they independent contractors? Everybody's clocking Keem. I hate Keem. For people who are new here, I fucking hate this guy. I cannot stand this guy. For people who are new here, this guy sucks. I cannot stand him. Does the business dictate how, when, or where? See, okay. Factors considered for a 1099 versus W-2 from Ken's counseling couch. Does the business dictate how, when, and where the work gets done? Who controls the business aspects of the job? How do both parties perceive the arrangement? Ken's counseling couch, that's a great point. And if you answer all of this stuff in reference to the LCU, while it is saying that they're independent contractors, the business dictates how, when, and where the work gets done. 100% Keem dictates all of it. Keem controls the business aspects of the job. And both parties, and Keem has said verbatim, he is their boss. He is their employer. At that point, when he has said that, and then the hosts agree that Keem is their boss, he's their employer. At what point? And also for Keem, in terms of taxes for the LLC, it's probably much cheaper for him to hire independent contractors than to hire actual employees. Let me check if that's true. Let me check if that's completely true or not. I don't know. I'm making something up, so I'm going to check. Is it cheaper to hire independent contractors or employees? Independent contractors are typically cheaper. There you go. So he's saving money, actually. He's actually saving money by doing it this way, which, again, considering the fact that by all senses of the word, they are. Yeah, he doesn't have to pay unemployment, short-term disability, etc. Exactly, Ken's counseling couch. He doesn't have to pay all of those extra fees that would go into actually hiring somebody and onboarding them and giving them HR training and blah 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 blah. So so again, with considering the fact that they shouldn't be even they shouldn't even be considered independent contractors by all senses of the word. They are employees by description, by even the comparison that Ken just gave us between a 1099 and a W2 a W2 employee. Everything that fits a traditional W2 employee fits the LCU hosts. So again, he's hiring them, he's onboarding them as independent contractors when fundamentally that's not what they are. That's why no one takes a sick day unless there's really an emergency. Also, again, because they're not allotted sick hours. Because again, if they were employees, there would be mandatory sick hours, mandatory vacation hours, etc., etc. So it's unbelievable, actually. He's Kate's daughter. You're a paralegal? That's so fun. I wanted to be a lawyer really badly. I got an English degree, so I'm going at a lot of this from like reading it, a literature perspective. And so I'm like putting it in layman's terms and looking up the laws as I go to kind of get an understanding. Thank you. He's Katie's daughter. I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I would be a pretty good lawyer. As we can see, I'm very passionate and argumentative. I wanted to be one very badly, but I ended up not going that route. I just have an English degree, so I just use it when I need it. Nikki T, and if they get fired, they don't get any payout. There's no obligation to anything under this contract, except that they're not allowed to talk badly about him or the LCU. And they're not allowed to own any of the materials that they make for the show. And if they create a persona while they're at the show, they can't keep that either. And if they have recurring bits or like things that they made popular during the LCU, they're not allowed to keep that either. So what the fuck are they allowed to keep? Like, they're really only allowed to keep their name, which is gross and disgusting. I need some tea so I can spill. We need our English majors too. They help us read stuff like this and make sense of it. Yeah, which is why I've tried to put a lot of this in kind of layman's terms, which is why the specific clause, it just didn't make any sense to me. And I sat there and I tried to read it for like 5 minutes because it doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I think I can make sense of it in my head. I know what it like in layman's terms it translates to, but like, why put it in here? The severability clause, clause 14, if any provision is held unenforceable, the parties agree that the court may modify the provision to the minimum extent necessary to make it enforceable, and the remaining provisions will remain in full force. So what, to me, again, I'm not a lawyer, but to me, what that section says, if this is actually taken to court, it's up to the court to decide if this is actually enforceable or not, which is a crazy thing to put in a contract. I'm sure that these are necessary to put in contracts, but like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Sorry, what was the channel that leaked it? It was, oh my goodness. Everybody, we're going back to the channel that leaked it. This video was done by Aussie Cobb. So I get a lot of my other like random LCU stuff from them. I know this is the channel that actually posted the full thing. Ozzy Cobb is great. They are very LCU snark-esque. I watch a lot of if an A, because they have a lot of old ALR collabs
Oh
and stuff on there
boy, oh
too.
boy, oh
So
boy. What is
um
up?
yeah,
What
I've
is
been
up,
shouting out.
everybody?
And then
Welcome.
originally streamed by Clout Control here. So Clout Control was the original streamer. Ozzy Cobb cut it down for easier reading and to just highlight the worst and hypocritical parts of the stream. I'm a therapist, but I tend to help people things with like landlord issues, employment discrimination. So knowing the laws and contracts have helped me a bit. Not
Holy
all
cow, what are you
laws.
showing me? Come on!
Awesome, Ken. That's so great. That is so unbelievably great. I try, because this is something that you do have to learn, when at least when I was in college and I was getting my English degree, I did have to learn some basic stuff like this. Thank you, Blushface, for linking Ozzy Cobb. Thank you so much. You have to learn a little bit of this when you are, at least how to read like legislation and laws and amendments and stuff like that when you study English. So I learned a little bit of it. Yeah, this is unbelievably exploitative. And I just, again, like to the point Ken said earlier, you aren't excused for not reading it, but there's so much in here that violates actual New York employment laws. And again, with the sheer fact that with the way an LCU job description is, it does not even fit in an independent contractor. Like what I would consider honestly, I would consider Amber Lynn's run in the LCU an independent contractor because she was only working there for 4 months. That I think this contract is like for Amber, unfortunately, it's probably pretty solid because Amber Lynn fit the independent contractor description. But everybody also works there, especially like Tech, who's worked there for like 2 years or some shit like that, or who else has worked there for a really long time? Like Boogie. Like again, I don't think these would fit for either of them. And always remember, signing a contract doesn't mean it's over. Call the employment board. Exactly, 100%. What we've learned here is Keemstar is exploiting his employees. Keemstar hates people who work for him, apparently, because I can't, like, and I don't like, to be honest, like, I don't super feel bad for these people because if you're not reading this and you're not having somebody look over this and you signed it, that's your fault, buddy. But he shouldn't have been writing this in the first place. And again, anything in here that writes, well, you don't get paid if you say mean things about me. What? Ken had a client who was missing arms and had to use their feet to work. Have their employer upset over them running like 2-3 minutes behind the rest of the employees doing the same job. I had that issue too, and I wish I had someone like you around when I was dealing with some issues with my dad because he has really bad neuropathy because he is a cancer survivor. And the places he worked for refused to give him an ADA accommodation for it. And I was like, what do you mean they're just refusing to give you an ADA accommodation? He's like, yeah, they won't let me, like, he worked for a hotel. He worked front desk for a hotel. Like, yeah, they won't let me sit. They won't let me do whatever. I was like, what? Hi, Foxtrot. Welcome. Yeah, this is unbelievable. Go check out both channels. Love them. Ozzy Cobb does have some cut downs of old Amber Lynn Bus and Hero stuff as well. So if you just want clips with no reaction, they do have them. Smokesy, hello. I'm watching a Roz newbie. I love people getting into Rosie. Oh, guys, when we get into Rosie, because I think we're kind of going to wrap up the Keemstar stuff here. When we get into Rosie, guys, I think she's stealing my personality. Because I finally got around to watching cut down versions of her last couple streams. And in the one where she throws a tantrum, Rosie makes a claim. Rosie makes a claim. I also remember the ankle might mention Amber have a new partner instead of Emily. I think Snowflake started that rumor, if I remember correctly, because she's changing her personality. But I think that the change of personality is because of this. I think unfortunately, Amber was the most authentic she'd ever been in the LCU, and she cannot be that authentic again because she's claiming it's an LCU personality. So since she's claimed that herself, she can't act like that again, or she's gonna get her ass sued by Keem. She's gonna get sued so quick by Keem. And I hate both of them. I would love to see a lawsuit between Amberlynn and Keem go to court. I want to see the court look at both of them and just like sigh exasperatedly. Okay, I have your full attention now. Thank you, Mighty Ike's on Bikes. So for people who are just here for Keem, thank you for coming. I appreciate all of you, and especially all of your engagement in the chat. We're gonna get into a little bit of Rosie. It's unbelievably. My entire thing was my entire thumbnail was Rosie, when in fact I think I probably spent more time on Keem and this than I will spend on Rosie tonight. I want to go over the 2 streams I missed. I want to go over, since this is alleged to partner be like Erica. I've heard it. I've heard at least she's a redhead. Some people are theorizing she's back with Danielle. Whatever partner likes jumping jacks, I suppose. Dude, everybody's in here. There's been so many people in here that I like interact with on my main Twitter account. I'm like, holy shit, you guys are in my chat. You don't know who I am. If the case was a state court versus federal, there could be a chance it could be live streamed, which would be the funniest damn thing ever. Oh, I agree. I've always wondered with that, and maybe somebody can answer. Since I know at least according to that contract, it was the fact that they had to, all laws would abide by Erie County, New York. Does that mean the cases would take place in Erie County, New York, or would Amberlynn be allowed to do it in Oklahoma? I see Amber's back. No, the second she crashes out on, which is why I think the live streams have been shorter and shorter, because I can see her getting agitated by the chat, but she can't crash out. So I want to do I want to go to one specific clip, because I didn't watch any of these Rosie streams all the way through. Homegirl is stealing my identity, and I stand by that. For people who don't know or might be new to this channel, one thing we joked about a few streams ago was, because I was making fun of Amberlynn can't sing, and then I was making fun of the fact that Rosie can't sing. For people who don't know, I am a classically trained musician, choir, opera. When I judge Remy and Rosie for singing, know that just like we have people who are paralegals and help out with law stuff that were in the chat helping me out here, I can critique music. I can critique singing, because I'm a classically trained musician. Foxtrot Remedy. Whenever the suit is filed and it meets the venue requirements, online stuff usually happens where the defendant is domiciled. I'm a paralegal by day, Batman by night. Holy shit, Batman. I didn't know Batman watched me. It might have to be the federal court, because neither in the same state nor signed in the same state. That's what I was thinking too. Like, he's mentioning, he put that it's following under Erie court state law, or Erie court county law, not state. Erie County is not a state, guys. But it's like, you have people that also work overseas. So like, I believe Nightmare was from Wales. So like, how do you do that? How are you going to make that work? Which is also probably why he hires them as an independent contractor and not an employee as well. But going back to the rant, for people who are new here, because I've seen some people that I've never seen before. I mean, I've seen you before, just not in my chat. I am a musician. I studied opera. I sang in choir. It's talked about at length on this channel. And there was a very specific live stream. There was, hold on. Going back to this real quick. If the dispute is under 75K, though, it would probably stay in state court. That answers the question. Thank you so much. So since none of those people made 75K, it'll probably stay in the state court. So a few streams ago, when I made fun of Rosie, it ended up turning into karaoke night. And it was a little joke amongst the community here that soon enough, either Amber or Rosie would start claiming they did opera or choir. And I don't remember who I was watching, but I was watching somebody cut this stream down. And you guys will never fucking guess! You guys will never fucking guess what this bitch did! We were right! I'm gonna get to this specific part of the stream So again, my computer's running a little slow. Thank you guys so much for dealing with this as I get my new computer. It's been purchased. I'm setting it up. It's just the data has to transfer, so it's taking a little bit. So, again, it was a little joke between us. We're like, haha, he. We were giving like a little kiki, a little haha, and I am going to share my screen. I was at work when I was like listening to this I was at work when I was listening to this. And when I tell you I'm in the middle of doing my day job, I'm just like listening to just like someone who cut down the stream. I think it was Busy Little Bee. I think she was the one I was watching. And or not watching, more so listening to. And when I tell you, I almost shit bricks. Cause like we joke about it. The one thing I know for sure though is Amber's been on this channel. I've seen the sock accounts. Rosie's like a playful little joke that we have. So I am going to you followed me after the tech issue started. Sarah, you're gonna love when the tech issues get fixed. My live stream won't go so slow.
Did a lot growing up for my singing.
Okay, I'm gonna go back just a little bit.
I don't know. I got bullied a lot growing up for my singing by like everyone in my life. I was, told to shut up a lot and stuff with that. And I loved chorus and I loved singing, but
mind you, the only thing Rosie's ever said that she likes to go karaoke. At what point? At what point? At what point has she ever said singing was a huge part of her life? She sang all the time growing up. Since when? Nikki T was in here. Nikki T, confirm or deny? Since fucking when? No. I've seen enough of her to know that she only went to that karaoke thing once. Like sings a little bit, never talked about this. What do you mean? And I told you guys, like that was a whole thing with that stream. That was the whole thing with that stream. Oh, Millennial Girl, you're a vocalist too. Sing time. Oh, I did too, but people got it. But I got it because I sang all the time because I was a theater kid. Again, that was something in that live stream so specifically. I talked about like I'd been singing my whole life. I had done choir. I had done opera in college. She's in here. And it's also the fact that I like went in detail. I went in detail why Rosie couldn't sing and why Remy couldn't sing. I went in specific detail. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my ears. And again, for people who weren't in that stream, we were joking about it the whole time. When I was singing, like I was singing opera, I was singing musical theater. I was like, I mogged her because I did the exact same song she did at that karaoke video. We were joking about it the whole time in the chat. We're like, oh, haha, next stream, Rosie or Amber's gonna say that they did opera. What is this? It's now a good time to mention that you were in alto 2 in high school. Pac-Man, my dream. I couldn't do it. They wouldn't let me. This is crazy. I need other Rosie historians to she's never mentioned this before. She sang before and she's been like, where was this lore? Identity theft is not it's not a joke, Rosie. Identity theft is not a joke. I couldn't believe. Yeah, see, Desert Flower Blooming was there. Mad Yikes on Bikes was there. Did Roz also choreograph dances? You know what's crazy, though? Not to sound like I'm copying Amber Lynn Reid. I also choreograph stuff. I'm not a good choreographer, though. Don't ask me to choreograph. I'm not good at it, but I have done it. She's like, who's going to fact check me? I got to find somebody to fact check. Because, I swear to fucking God, she's never said that. So that was where I wanted to start with this because I couldn't fucking believe she did that. I genuinely, like, we were joking about it the whole time. We were laughing, we're having a good time. I cannot believe she did that. And I you know what? I was waiting for her to pull out No One Mourns the Wicked, just like I did. Doesn't anyone want to hear me sing No One Mourns the Wicked before we go? I was waiting for her to do it. I could not believe it. I'm shocked. I can't believe that. I genuinely, when I heard her say that, I almost lost my fucking mind, dude. I almost lost my mind. I almost lost my goddamn mind. I want proof. Show me you rolling up with some Eric Whitacre. No, I think Eric Whitacre was after her time. Oh, what's a really good like choir composer? I was thinking jazz. I'm like, no, I can't pull out the jazz composers one. I can't do that. I'm new to Roz, but I know she is bad. She is unbelievably bad. She is a habitual liar. She's exploitative. She is a victim unbeliever, a victim denier, if you will. And is still engaging with her feeder boyfriend. And you can't convince me he's not one. She said her favorite musical was Rent. Dude. And then she was like, no, but I like Merrily We Roll Along. You don't know ball. You don't know ball. Favorite musical, Rent. And I'm not saying Rent's bad. I love Rent. I love the opera Rent's based off of as well. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is you don't know ball. Like, roll up with saying your favorite musical is Urinetown. Roll up saying it's a privilege to pee. I want to get to, because there's this one and then Tummy Time where she, like, goes bonkers. Like, she goes a little bit crazy. She's in so school pictures to believe it. Exactly. Where's the yearbook? I was in choir. Dude, and if you're in choir, like, choir is an experience in high school. And, like, I miss high school choir like I miss a toxic ex. Like, a day does not go by where I don't think about high school choir. She probably sang a lot of hymns. Oh, probably Foxtrot. Undeniably, Asher, my teen had to see Urinetown with school last year. Urinetown eats. I love Urinetown. It's a privilege to pee. Like, there are great musicals out there. The fact she picked Rent, don't get me wrong, I love Rent. Rest in peace, Jonathan Larson. But, like, you're going to say that when Jesus Christ Superstar exists? Where does she freak out about the Instant Pot lid? Oh, this bullshit too? Do you know, when I was my sister was also in choir. We went to, like, rival high schools for people talking about, like, winter hymns and stuff like that. My sister got so mad at me when I switched high schools because I was part of my advanced choir. I was part of the advanced kids. And she was also part of the advanced choir at her high school. Yeah, me and my sister, people hate me and my sister because, unfortunately for everybody, they think we're just good at everything we touch. We're not. At least my sister's very naturally talented. I had to work my ass off for being good at anything. My sister's also the one who drew all the avatars on the channel, the profile pictures drawn by me. She would get so mad around Christmas time because we sang more than the same, like, 7 songs. And she got so fucking mad at us. I'm like, well, better know ball. As a chat Mormon, I like to chime in here say that hymns do not make for great singing. Mormons like to sing, but not all of them are good. Hymns are easy to sing. No, it's true. But also, you know what, Magic Ike's on Bikes, do you want to, maybe this was so specific to my school. Do you know how many Mormons were in the advanced choir? So many. So, like, I think it's a mixed bag. If you're Mormon, you either have the voice of an angel or you can't fucking sing at all. Like, there's no in between. The second you're part of that religion, you either sing like an angel or you can't sing. We see where Rosie lands. And again, I can be mean about this. I can be such a jackass about her and Remy singing. The proof is in the channel. There's a singing stream on here. One day I will do, like, thank you for the flower, Vanessa. Oh my goodness, thank you. Drama kids at my high school would have hated her. Dude, the drama kids hated me. But, like, fair enough, I guess.
Time together. And so, yeah, but we're like completely out of mozzarella. So I got two.
Dude, Brandy, it would be so embarrassing if I challenged her to a sing off. It'd be so embarrassing. Same thing with Remy. It would be embarrassing. They'd lose. They'd lose so fast. And it's not even like I'm not even flexing like I'm the best singer in the world. I'm pretty good. I just grew up. I was surrounded by people who were amazing singers. Like for example, a friend of mine in college, we're very close, we're very good friends, was on American Idol last year and placed like 8th. So a fucking course, dude. I'm surrounded by those people. One of my friends has an internship at the Met. So like I think I'm good. I know I'm good. I've worked very hard. I'm very technical, but it's like those are the people I'm surrounded by.
Packs. One of these is going in the freezer, and then these we'll be using for other stuff. Because like I said, we're completely out. And yeah. All right. And then the other reason I wanted to make sure I go into Sam sooner rather than later, even we did not have the energy. Like
she said, sing to me. Can I do this? Can I do this without blowing up my... No, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna start singing the Phantom of the Opera high notes, and I'm like, ooh, no. I've been talking like this entire stream has been me rambling. No way. But I can give you. Let us speak loud. Let us be grateful. I'm putting Ari out of business.
Deal with shopping at Sam's Club for real. But the real reason
I just think it's great. Hey guys, you know what I have in my house? This is a great transition. You know what I have in my house right now? My dad, because he's older, he can get like free lunches at a community center because he's an old man. He got a Built Bar and he gave it to me. So I could try a Built Bar. Do we want to like, for 1 cent next stream, I'll try a Built Bar. I could just go get it now, but that would require me like leaving my room, and I don't have like a little pause button for the stream. I believe it's the either cookie dough or brownie flavor Foxtrot. It's just in my house. It's just where all my other like granola bars and stuff are. So like I have one. Don't worry. I said for 5K subscribers, I'm going to recreate an Amberlynn Reed makeup look. I'm going to follow her tutorial, and I'm going to recreate a Rosie makeup look for you guys for 5K. So you'll get like face. You'll get face. Also, I hope you guys are so excited for my videos for this weekend because I'm going to be doing, they're going to be 2 superhero videos. It's going to be do superhero fans actually want good actors for the movies, and X-Men 97 hates gay people. Put Cole in the stream, I'll LCU. 1 cent, and I'll try a Built Bar. 1 single cent, and I'll try 1 Built Bar. 1 penny, and I'll try it. I don't think you can even donate a penny.
Expedited this trip. $15 a box on sale right now at Sam's Club. 15.
I don't care if they're $15. You just bought those 2 exact same boxes. You just bought one. Like, did she run out? If she ran out of her Built Bars that quick, I'm gonna lose it.
15. $15. It doesn't get cheaper than that.
All up. Why do I think Amber and Rosie like them? Because I want to find out. Greta, them shits really seem to basically be candy bars. That's what I've been led to believe. But like, I wanna know. I have one in my house. I want to know. I want to know what the hype is. Yeah, so my videos are going to be about superheroes this weekend because I've been watching X-Men 97, as you all know, with a friend. And there's been some casting rumors for the X-Men, and people are being mean, and I don't like when people are mean. Foxtrot Remedies, here's 200 cents. Brandy said 199. All right, will you guys take a pause, and I'll go grab it? I'm going to leave Rosie playing for you all. I'll leave Rosie playing. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to go grab it. I'm gonna make her go faster though. No, she can stay on 480p because I don't like her. All right. Everybody watch Rosie. I'm gonna mute myself.
It just doesn't. Yeah. Well, like I said, Emily, that's why I didn't time her out. You know, I didn't block her. I just timed her out. I assumed it was not ill-intended. Can we stop talking about it? Thank you. All right, and then let's see. Ooh, cabbage roll cash. Sounds fun. I'm trying. You should totally try using your chicken in homemade chicken soup. Is that what you meant to the sound? Let's see.
I'm back. I have the Built Bar with me. I will take a photo of it and post it to my community tab for evidence after the stream. I'm going to read the label on it. It's 160 calories, 100 milligrams of sodium. That's so many. 15 grams of protein. If I've learned anything from that one ex-WWE star who she does a bunch of the videos on TikTok, this is not a high protein food. Total carbs, 19 grams of carbs. Total sugar is 8 grams of sugar, including 8 grams of added sugar, so that's 16 grams of sugar. I also want to point out, get some ASMR. This is like deflated as fuck. This is the cookie dough chunk flavor. What'd everybody say? Okay. All right. Oh. 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 I'm gonna take a picture of what it looks like. This is going on the community tab after the stream. It looks like a poopy almond joy. So imagine a really deformed almond joy. That's what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. Oh. 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 Gross. The flavor is not bad. I like the little cookie dough bite. That's the most disgusting texture of anything I've ever had in my life. It and like a chocolate is like a grainy, like, you guys ever had a chocolate and it's not smooth chocolate, it's like grainy chocolate? The texture is just nasty. But here's the thing though. I can see why the girls eat these up, because it quite literally just tastes like fucking candy. It just tastes like chocolate. Like where a lot of protein bars will have the chalk taste to it, but that texture is so fucking disgusting. Oh, what do I think those sour versions would be like? Worse, because I think they're still coated in that chocolate, and then it's just like, It's so fucking nasty. Because it's a marshmallow texture inside. But the marshmallow texture is also grainy. Like, it's also grainy. I don't know. And here's the thing. I think that, like, I don't remember if it was Honey Bison or Obese to Beast that was discussing just protein bars in general. Unless you are consistently working out, there's no reason to waste your calories on those. But for Amber, Lynn, Reed, and Rosie, it's like, well, they do taste just like that. Tastes just like. Have you guys ever had the cookie dough bites? Like the little like movie theater candy cookie dough bites? It tastes it's exactly like that. Like taste exactly like it. Texture, sandy marshmallow. It does make me. Oh God, the things I do for how much was that? How much people donated $4 for that? Oh God. Mind you, I'm on a new medication, so I'm also like already nauseous. That's so nasty. That was gross. Again, the taste was fine. The taste was okay. It literally just tasted like candy, quite literally just like candy. But the texture was foul. So, and to I only wanted to be fair, yeah, I was only gonna take a penny for that. So I got more than I bargained for. Mind you, I'm not autistic, but I've been told by a therapist I should see a psychologist. And I refuse. And so I have severe texture issues when it comes to food. So again, for Rosie, self-diagnosed autistic, that's a sensory nightmare. Those are a sensory nightmare. That was so nasty. Blush face into chili for 6 joules. Thank you. What makes a cookie dough protein that actually has texture like cookie dough? I think I believe Cookie Dough Bites has that. They also have the brownie, which I know the brownie is not bad. Again, I eat some of this stuff because I don't eat a lot of meat. So like, again, potentially neurodivergent, not diagnosed. Will not go. I'll remain blissfully ignorant for the rest of my life. So like I get irritated with the same thing over and over again sometimes if it's not something I fully love. So like beans and edamame and stuff like that I don't love. So I do eat some of these to like balance out the protein. Smoothie, it's a sensory nightmare, but I'm also certified marshmallow hater. Yeah, I think, but I love like a good roasted marshmallow, so maybe I just like shove that over the fire and see what happens. Maybe I just light it on fire. It's only, first of all, Space Ranger, it was only 15 proteins. Not even a high protein food. I believe, I don't remember what the name of that influencer is. And it's Gabby, the influencer Gabby. And she goes around, she looks at all the like protein and health food options and like tells you if it's a high protein food or if it's Gabby approved. I love her. According to her, the high protein food index is a 10/10 ratio. So if it's like, so it should be like 16 grams of protein for 160 calories. That's a high protein food, but that's only 15. Not good enough.
I'm so excited. Honestly, I do prefer peach over the
I don't prefer any of
green
them.
apple. Also, the ones you get from Sam's are 13 counts instead of 12 counts, so you get an extra bar.
Mama, the best girl.
And it's cheaper. You just don't get as much like variety and flavor choices. I'm obsessed with the sours.
I see them at Aldi, and now I was always like, I see them everywhere. I see the girls have them. I want to try it. Never again. Never again. Hot chip. What if we really want to set it on fire?
So the reason I bought 2 boxes because, like, by the way, retail.
Oh gosh, Rosie's gone.
They're $2.99 or $29.99. You can get them a lot cheaper. Sometimes they go on sale on TikTok Shop. I know Caitlin. I follow Caitlin. $5.99. Damn, she's fine. She has a built coupon code, which like Slay Queen. I love that for you. I think it's like.
I just think because a protein is a necessity, right? I just don't think you need this like artificial protein because also this is collagen protein. And if I've learned anything from Honey Bison, collagen protein is not going to be as helpful as like a whey protein isolate. So what's this going to do for you, girl? Also, yeah, she did say to yell at her Mau Mau.
$5.99 damn fine or something like that. You can go check her. on follower if you want her coupon code for the direct website. But yeah, whenever I do eventually order some of the specialty ones, I'm going to be using her coupon code for that.
It could be flammable hot chip. You're right. I don't know
And you can stack the coupon code with the factory rejects or whatever they're called, the second factory, whatever the fuck they're called. I'm obsessed with Built Bars. And I was actually in the car, I was watching.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. I think it's again, and like if she is neurodivergent, I'm not going to judge a safe food. Again, I've said it before, mine's asparagus. I go to a restaurant, I go to Chili's and I'm like, can I get a side of asparagus? And all my friends make fun of me and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Let me live. But like, I just think that at a point you need intervention. Like I think she needs to be sat down intervention.
Watching Smaller Sam PCOS. She's the one that really got me into Built Bars a long time ago, to be honest. I've been into Built Bars for a long time, but my newest obsession with the sours is like a newer thing. And then I did get a big ass thing of tortillas. My brother also loves the tortillas and like breakfast burritos and stuff, so I just got some more of these. Yeah, they are expensive normally. And like one of these boxes is normally $30. I paid $31 for both of these boxes. So
I don't again. I'm not saying that if you are poor, you can't buy nice things. I bought nice things and I did nice things for myself when I was super poor. But like I would never put this stuff ahead of like healthcare. Because to me, this isn't like, this tells me Rosie has never struggled in her life. And she says she has, but she's never. If you can just like excuse your spending on Built Buff bars like this. Because when I was really struggling, it was like I would get cans of soup. I would get the same thing of rice. I would get what I knew was cheap. I would go to the Dollar Tree. This $30 for protein bars wasn't on my radar. And like, if you are struggling where you cannot pay for things that are going to help you survive, you need to be smarter. You need to work smarter. I'm going to say what I said. Remy is weird and evil, fufu, and stinky. 100%. I hate Remy. We all know I hate Remy. I think Zachary Michael said that at some point, or maybe Charlie Gold said it. I don't remember. Somebody said that Remy's going to get to a point where he's like comfortable on the channel. We're going to get more of him. And then my visceral hatred for Remy is going to be validated. You all just watch. You all just wait and see.
One of my favorite snacks are dried seaweed, but it's way cheaper to buy the full non-sheets instead of the small little snack bites. Yeah. I just,
that's
me
fine.
And what's the word I'm looking for? Me and seaweed don't get along. I've wanted to like it. I wish I liked it. I just don't, to be honest. All right, I'm just going to be lazy and punt that over there for now. Okay. All right, and then... All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is eat because I'm going to be doing a lot of like prep work.
What also gets me too is that I get it. I'm somebody who like likes to cook sometimes. I come from a family that likes to cook. I love to bake. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to like prep like this every day. It does not need to happen. Udom is so gross about by today's membership live. She was playing with her nail glue and picking her finger. Ew, she scolded Remy today. What did he do? Did he deserve it though? Probably not, because she scolds him for stupid shit. Because she's like mean. I can be mean to Remy. Rosie can't be mean to Remy.
Work.
Who was I watching that was talking about it? Because you're talking about her diabetic neuropathy. Like, I think it was Zach and Marie, but it brings up a great point because she talks about fibromyalgia and like other illnesses that she pretends to have, but diabetes, a disability that she's diagnosed with, she will fly off the handle if that's spoken about. And like realistically, what is the difference between those two diseases? What is the difference between them? Because I can tell you right now, diabetes is something like, I know she has specifically the obesity related diabetes, but there are people that are of an average, normal, or underweight that can get diabetes. So it's not something that's like always found in bigger people. But what they're going to tell her for fibromyalgia is the only way to calm the pain is if she loses weight. That is quite literally one of the only ways to cure symptoms of fibromyalgia. Like, and that tells me she knows nothing about the disability.
I'm really hungry. I had lunch, but it's like well past dinner time, and I'm hungry and I want to eat. And we went to Sam's. So because I'm gonna be making a bunch of stuff that's not really gonna come to a full meal. It's gonna depend on what my hands and energy can handle. But we did get I need to let my brother know we did get a Sam's pizza, like a large pepperoni pizza. But I also got myself what I'm having for dinner is I got a pizza pretzel and a hot dog. So I'm gonna eat that real quick, and then we're gonna get into the prep. Let me just put this refrigerator stuff away, and I'll chat with you guys for a minute. Also, I want the chicken's still pretty warm. And one of the things I want to do is slice this up.
Popped up my algorithm. I'm only getting X-Men.
It's time to cut this up. This is a petite pink pineapple. My boyfriend hasn't tried it, so I'm gonna be slicing this up and putting it in the fridge. Now they can try it and get his thoughts on that. Chicken, I want to look cool.
One big difference is diabetes patients have to get an eye and foot test, check the neuropathy every 6 months. That is true. That is true. And I know for fibromyalgia, you do have to see a rheumatologist, but that's only as flare-ups get more severe. But again, I've said this before on the channel. My mother, rest in peace. We can laugh about it. It's fine. We can joke. My mother had fibromyalgia very badly. She had fibromyalgia and lupus. Her doctor said her fibro was on a scale of 11 out of 10. And the thing that they told her was going to help her get it to a manageable 4 or 5 or even a 3 was losing her weight. That was the only thing they could tell her to do. They would give her pain meds, which theory, because one of the things they do give you is opioids. Theory. I said theory and my phone thought I said Siri. Go away. I did not say that. Theory, is that why she wants the fibro diagnosis? For some high level pain meds? Not saying anything, but my mom would be prescribed those, and then she the instructions were just lose weight because that's pretty much all she could do. And also medical marijuana at the time as well. So it's that's what they're going to tell her. That's what they're going to say.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be prepping a bunch of different side stuff. Because then when I make main entree meals, we can just kind of reheat those things. And with my limitations and stuff.
Oh, what? Poor Levi, Rosie, and Remily had to take his car took his car all day, and Remily had to go get Levi from his job. I feel so bad for that poor fucking brother. I feel so bad for Levi, dude. He just wants to live his life, and his sister's all in the kitchen all day, taking the car without permission. The more I hear about some of the ways Rosie mistreats her brother, the more I just get so sad. I get genuinely really sad about it.
And stuff cooking that way really just helps me, to be honest. Okay, refrigerator. And then I need to put the tortillas and the Built Bars over there. And then this needs to go back in the box. And then, so I just
have it.
And it was we got pizza, 2 pizza pretzels, and 2 hot dogs. I also got stuff for Levi as well. And all of it was $17. So I think I am gonna turn the rest of the potatoes into more twice baked potatoes. I'm gonna bake these off, and I'm gonna defrost. I made that ground turkey Asian mixture. I'm gonna defrost that. That's gonna be an easy meal. Ooh, yeah, I should get watermelon. That sounds good. But they're expensive. I will see. I need to ask what Lee's opinion on watermelon.
Yeah, they should be paying for the insurance and gas. 100%.
That's just not true. Why do you think I ended the live? He can speak to it for himself, but I ended the live and I asked him about it because I was correct when I was he was talking about when he's experiencing overwhelming anxiety, not that he was currently overwhelmingly anxious, because if he's like that, he can't eat anything. And I clarified with him after, because you guys, and he said that he'd be happy to talk about it here, because in the members only live, which a lot of you haven't seen, totally fine, he explained that he's going through a lot of drowsiness and anxiety because he's going through a med change right now. So
this really reminds me in the most disgusting way of Amber Lynn and Beck. It really truly does, because I don't care if he volunteers, I don't care if he asks, I don't care if whatever, but she's been forcing him on lives, being making him do all this stuff when he is going through a medicine change. That is so gross and disgusting. The only thing he should be doing is lying down and sleeping, if that's the case. It's so unbelievably gross and absolutely disgusting to treat a partner like that when they're going, I'm going through a med change right now. I feel awful. Do I still have to go to work and do my job? Of course I do. And I stream for you guys. I've taken a break this week from making regular videos and just streaming because I felt like garbage and my computer hasn't been working. Like, that's normal. You can expect that. So it's his summer vacation. He's at his girlfriend's house and is still expected to do work he's not paid for while he is sick and not feeling well. Fuck you.
He's feeling anxious because of that. And he told me specifically, not because of me, not because of the live. But I ended it anyway, even though he said it was fine to keep it going because I wanted him to be comfortable. So yeah. Oh, hi, honey.
Hi.
And they were just talking about what we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What were we talking about earlier?
How the last live ended and stuff. Someone was like, "Please said that." I didn't
Why does he do the Debbie
Oh,
Ryan
that's
hair
not what
tuck?
it was called. No, my anxiety had nothing to do with the live.
It's the fact that also she's like staring at him so intensely as she's explaining this for him, and then he's looking to the camera for help.
Or her, or it was just. I get anxious for no reason sometimes. Like that's
That's how
something
anxiety
happens.
works.
Like, yeah. So
I mean, whatever the hell about me, right?
yeah.
Can you put this in the box of?
Your own actions vilify you.
Oh, okay,
Like, I don't know what to tell you, my
I was
girl.
about to get up and put this shit in the fridge. I wasn't expecting you to walk in. I'm about to eat.
Okay.
It's not only that she's just a big whiny baby, Moonlight. It's just so unbelievably inconsiderate as well. And I don't like Remy. I've said it verbatim. I don't like him. I think he knew what he was getting into when he got into this relationship. But I can still be angry and upset by the action she's taking. Like, that's gross. Forcing your boyfriend to do all the work around your house, forcing him to be on camera when he's not feeling well. It's gross. Like, I could, me as a normal human being, I couldn't do that to a partner or a friend or like literally anybody. Coming from someone who has chronic pain, someone in as much pain as she says she is, and not taking pain meds, just simply can't act the way she does. Brandy, you took the words right out of my mouth. It must have been while you were kissing me. You took the words right out of my mouth. Meatloaf can't copyright this video because he's dead.
Okay, actually, yeah, I'm still gonna get up. Here. Yeah, will you just take the bars and?
Where does she crash out about
On top of the other tortillas that I didn't know we had.
Because she crashes out hard
use those
in
up
this
first.
one.
But I think Levi bought those, so that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna eat real quick. You said you're not hungry right now, right?
No, not right now.
Okay. Oh, I like yeeted them out of my way. Thank you, honey. Oh, I want to feed you apple drink.
Awesome.
Yeah, do you want a Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew?
Take a Mountain Dew.
Okay. How many are left? Not a lot. I'm gonna take a Mountain
He
Dew.
looks like someone who wants a Mountain Dew. Am I right, guys?
We got one straight on out. Yeah, he liked her so much he bought a second box too.
Okay, well, I'll be in the bedroom.
Okay, now you.
Gross. Disgusting. Is this the chat?
Okay. I want
No.
a pizza pretzel and a hot dog and ketchup mustard. Okay. Drink.
Where does she
Vibes.
crash
Okay.
out? Does anybody know where she like freaks out? I
Yeah,
think you
we're
can
gonna-
tell by
And then we're
her.
gonna get into the cooking prep because I hate cooking while I'm like really hungry. Less fun. So,
I think I could tell by
Yeah, Sam's
just
Club
like
food court
her
food is so
actions,
cheap.
I
It's
think.
awesome.
Does anybody know?
sometimes your brain has a backseat drive.
Can anyone give me a timestamp, or should I just like scroll to the comments? Because I want where she like bitches about the Instant Pot lid. I also love that she very clearly censors her comments. I love that she very clearly censors her comments. Is it this is right here?
Hey, thank you so much for joining the Quirky Crew.
Cause she like gets so angry about it too for like no reason. For no fucking reason does she get mad. I'm gonna just look at the transcript. That's gonna make my life easier actually. Like, and I want to do that, and then like she gets super angry in the Tummy Time live stream. It's just like it's ridiculous to get this mad about like asinine bullshit. Like to get so angry about really inconsequential bullshit, like stuff getting rearranged in a kitchen you share with other people is weird. It's so weird to me. Hello? Why did it take me to Rosie's page? Is she haunting my computer? This isn't my computer either. Is it? Am I getting haunted? Is whatever ghost is in her house haunting my computer? I don't need that. She already copied my presence. I don't need to be haunted by her either. I want the transcript. She did to get Remy's attention. I agree completely. She like whatever she was doing was to get his attention. I still just think it's like it's a baby. It feels like there's it's giving Kim, there's people that are dying. I definitely think Rosie is planning on moving over to Texas, which like good fucking luck, girl. Hey, good luck, dog. If I can't find it, whoa, why does it keep doing this? I'll never know. I'll never know where it is. Unless somebody wants to give me a timestamp right now. I know what happens in this live. I just, like, don't remember where. Is it here? It is here! I'm a genius! Do you think Remily ever tells her off? No.
Parents invited all of our family to stay in their home for Irma. The tiles are ripped off the roof and we're smashing into the window. The eye hurricane passed over the house and the birds just died from exhaustion. That's horrible, Danzy. Oh my god.
Aww.
Oh, if you pack the salt on it, the fat doesn't spill out as much, if at all. Oh, okay. But doesn't that make it super salty? This smells good. I love salmon. I'm just cleaning off this gunk.
Not beating the bear allegations. It's a bear in a person suit.
Salt sucks in moisture, yeah. I think the rain's making me. Oh, good, Gamer Girl. I want to make teriyaki salmon burgers again, which my brother really liked. The ones with edamame and stuff. Let me check the potatoes in 30 minutes because the smaller ones might be done. Okay, I need the Instant Pot. Here's a carrot. Where's the other bag? What is this? Oh, this is just cabbage. I'm gonna defrost this too.
Defrosted
actually good in the well, it might be
diabolical.
color funky, but I'm gonna hold off on that actually.
Don't defrost the cabbage. What the heck? Like the pre-cooked cabbage. I get it. We're all scared of that poopy virus.
Good, I want to defrost this turkey. I made a full.
Where is it?
It's not lost. I just don't remember where it is, guys. Don't come for me. Oh, I think it's outside. Okay. Okay. I'm tired. The chronic sleep deprivation is starting to get to me a little bit. To be honest with y'all.
Chronic sleep deprivation? You don't know what that is, girl.
Oh, man.
She didn't wash her. First of all, she also spread some misinformation about the like parasite that's going around. She's like, "Well, just wash your fruits and vegetables." That's the dangerous part about the specific parasite that's going around in the U.S. is that it does not go away with you washing your fruits and your vegetables. It's only gotten rid of by heat. So the fact that she's saying that and it's just like you're misinformed about a very real illness that's going around right now, and like. Yeah, people are doing like the weird thing of like, get the parasite to be skinny, but it's also like this is a failure on the US government, fully and completely, full stop. And the fact that you're reducing it to like a fat phobic thing and not, hey, this is a failure on the US government, fuck you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why is Instapot not in here? I'm not in the mood for this.
See, this is just gross. This is gross behavior to me.
Oh, I'm about to get pissed.
And like, I here's the thing. I understand moments like this. If you're in private, it's just been a full bad day, whatever may have you. But to act like this, like, here's the thing. I get like this when I move something in my house. I don't know where it is. I get pissed. I yell. I live by myself, right? I have no one to blame for my missing items but me and me alone. But to do this when you live in a house with other people, and like, they probably didn't move this to intentionally. Hi, Night Strike. You missed earlier, so definitely replay, gang. We went over the LCU contract that got leaked. Now we're going over some older Rosie stuff because she's being a whiny little brat, and I don't like it.
Why is that not put back there?
After Remy deep cleaned for her, exactly.
What?
It feels malicious because it's the fact that she had said that Remy deep cleaned the kitchen. He did all of this stuff for her, so he legally moved that into the garage. He didn't know any better. He doesn't live here. And you're screaming and you're yelling and you're throwing a tantrum about the fucking Instant Pot lid.
Lid's not out here either. What the fuck? Oh, I'm about to get mad.
There's no need. There's no reason to get mad.
I found that, but the lid isn't where it's supposed to be. However, I kept the old.
And she's throwing things around in the kitchen like a fucking toddler. She's throwing around the chair, the everything, like a fucking child. Like, this is a tantrum. This is a fucking tantrum. Unbelievably just 36, but she's 34 or 35 or 36. One of those ages in the mid-30s. Woman in her 30s acting this way, by the way.
Old lid of the other Instant Pot.
She doesn't apologize. It's a great point, Hot Chip. No apology for how she acted.
Okay. I'm less pissed now.
There was no need to be pissed. Oh my god.
Hi, honey. Thank you. I just get pissy about the Instant Pot. It's always fun. Me, dramatic, never.
Yeah, and here's the thing. She's getting pissy. She's getting upset. I don't know how the house is set up, but Remy could probably hear it. He knew he cleaned the kitchen. He knew he was going to be the one getting in trouble. Like, this is so it's entitled behavior. It is entitled behavior, especially when you live with other people. The shit that you share is not going to be in the same place.
Well, I think I'm done with schoolwork for tonight.
I'm about to start.
So that's where I wanted to look at with this one. We're going to look at the tummy time stream because I know she like screams and yells in that one too for super bullshit reasons. It's just like, here's the thing. I think that everybody has moments like that. I'm not saying that like she's not allowed to have moments where she crashes out like that. Everybody has moments like that, of course. The thing is, we don't document it, right? We don't make those parts of our lives visible because they are unflattering to us. We know that they're negative. We know that they're not great. So we don't show the world those things because they're honestly embarrassing. Bad days are bad days for a reason. But with Rosie, every day seems to be a bad day and she wants grace because every day is a bad day for her. And that's just not how life is. Foxer Remedy, part of the tantrum too is that she had to stand to get it, then she couldn't find it. 100%. She was already upset because she claimed she wasn't feeling well. She claimed she was in pain and she didn't want to get up. She didn't want to do work. The thing is, what's also crazy is it's all completely optional. It's not like she was, in the middle of doing something super important, couldn't find what she was looking for because it was like an important tax document that had to be done. Everything she was doing in that stream was completely optional. She didn't have to do any of it. And to throw a tantrum for an optional behavior, for an optional thing, why? Reminds me of the irrational pain-fueled outbursts we'd see on travel days on my... Exactly, dude. Again, like, I think all of us have had bad days. We're just like, it's a pile of stuff that gets to us and we lash out like that. But, we're average people, so we probably cool down and we apologize. We didn't mean for it to happen. It just, bad days are bad days. But again, we don't show them on the internet because they're not like cool or fun or shouldn't be promoted. I used to watch Sophia No videos, then I started to watch Girl One, and I can't believe some. And I enjoyed people calling people gross that deserve what they get. 100%. I 100%. And like I saw a few comments. It's like, well, doesn't Girl World revolve around, keeping these people around and then making content off of it? And I'd argue no. In the way that like, I'm not saying what Girl World does is anything equating to Jack's Films, but like I'm going to use Jack's Films as an example. The channel where he comments on Sniper Wolf, SS Sniper Wolf, and her stealing content, and the fact that he's branched out into doing more reactors that are like that and just stealing the content and not crediting the content. So the bigger problem is addressed. I'd argue on a smaller scale, Girl World is doing the same thing. Think about how many people just like don't cover Amber Lynn as often, and we're now working on Rosie because we don't want her here. We want this kind of negative influence, this bad person, to be off of the internet because she continuously does people harm. Like I said that was the end goal of Girl World, and in my opinion, that's the end goal of Girl World, is to get these people off of the platform, to de-platform this specific genre of people as often as we can. Like we did it with Glitter and Lasers. I don't think we did it with Glitter and Lasers, but like we've done enough to where Amber Lynn most likely cannot be monetized again because there's that rumor going around that she's been banned from the partner program. Like it's things like this, holding these people accountable for their shitty behavior. And like, I'm not going to argue that there are people that are here just be fat phobic assholes. I'm not going to argue that doesn't exist. But I think at the core, Girl World wanted these people to improve. And then when they didn't, all right, get out, leave. I wonder if she often gets mad, like over such banal nonsense is because, hey, adults get mad at things sometimes. I think for sure Ben is nobody. I think that, like, again, I think she excuses a lot of her behavior because she's like, well, other people do it and it's normal. And I'm not going to argue that it's not normal. I mean, we all have bad days. But the thing is, at what point do Rosie's bad days just become the norm? Because every day seems to be a bad day for Rosie. Not even just physically, but emotionally as well. And at that point, you need to go get help. I'm just here because the stuff is better than reality TV. And that's a fair point, too. That's a completely fair point. I think... Unfortunately, I fear the Alex Myers obsession video brought out a more prissy and pretentious side of me that like likes to dissect everything. I've always been like that, and I think that's been very obvious on this channel. I'm very clear about it, but I think that now it's more prevalent into that very stereotypical commentary YouTuber type shit. I think the problem is Rosie never lets people in her life be blunt with her. Exactly. And like at some point, bluntness can be the tough love that you need. Now, not being blunt all the time isn't like ideal. Like you don't want people to just be blunt and an asshole with you all the time. Where does she scream? Where does she get mad? It's when she's talking about like, aren't you exhausted again? I believe. I'm going to check the bottom.
Hey, Barry. We've been chatting. I gave away 10 memberships. Gamer Girl gifted a few. I have a couple ideas for Members Only Live with Lee on Friday. I just like per wing price. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's why I like it. Or, I mean, these issues obviously also affect trans men, but so I don't know if female is the right word for that. But
hot chip. I'm so
if I remember correctly, I was like the distinction of it being a metabolic syndrome is kind of a big deal. I'm not an expert. I'm not very well educated on it.
You're not very well educated on anything, and you keep trying to push information out, and that's the problem. You are so uneducated about everything that you talk about, and you push knowledge as if it's fact, and you don't ever admit it's like, well, I'm wrong. Like, you double down. It's like, well, I thought this, but I'm not an expert.
I bought one Dubai chocolate glass skin Labubu, and now I can't retire. Oh, you part of the Labubu train?
Oh, this comment's like, again, someone commented like, oh, I can't find it now, damn it. Every reaction channel that covers her is also, literally every other reaction channel I've seen go after you, other than one person is overweight as well. And Pot can call the kettle black, bitch. Also, again, if you're a member, you've seen it. I out-mog Rosie every day of the week. I out-mog Rosie every day of the week. I'm also 25 and more stable than she is, so I think I'm allowed to out-mog her. Whatever they said was not that funny, bitch. No one in your chat is that fucking funny.
Father Remy, bitch.
Yeah, it's almost like there is an obesity epidemic. You're so right, Smooksy. It's almost like that's a huge fucking problem in America as is, and especially like the displacement of food affordability and how really good organic food is completely unattainable to the average person. And now for like the traditionally distributed fruits and vegetables and produce, we now have parasites because our current administration will not regulate things like that. Hey, Sauce Boss. It's almost like.
Oh, that
No
took me
one
the fuck out. Okay. I mean, I think for me, and being expedited and really exacerbated post, basically,
I think your members
yeah, I mean, it's been like a slow ramp up, but basically around the time of coming to Florida. Like,
where the hell did
and it's
she
gotten
like
really worse the past couple years, specifically.
She screams and yells.
I was like, even 2 years ago, my mobility was so much better, and my pain was not this bad. I would definitely say the past 2 years has like the most extreme ramp up, but I think it has a lot to do with trauma for me. Like, and that's why I think it's a worsening of fibro, because I think there's a correlation there. Excuse me.
I'm going to throw her into the sun. I'm going to catapult her into the sun. I just am going to do it.
Blu-ray as in the premium version of the real happening of being. Thank you. I do certain things. Nerve pain is the worst. It doesn't matter what you take or what you do. Nothing touches it. Yeah. I do certain things to help reduce it. Like I took the ibuprofen. So because I'm still in pain right now, but I was like a lot more on fire earlier. And that's kind of like, I could sometimes bring down the pain like a couple numbers.
I'm also I'm going to say this right now, as somebody who had a mother with fibro, regular ibuprofen will do jack shit for your flare-ups. So it's actually like, well, the ibuprofen's bringing it down a little bit. You don't have fibro. You do not have fibro. Your joints are on fire because they are holding about 400 pounds that they should not be holding.
Numbers with doing certain things.
Exactly, Ben is nobody. We have a specific orange man we can blame for all
so
this
Rosie, please stop asking the same question. I don't want to go into it right now because I don't want to. I'm not actively talking about the depths of my current health issues in real time right now, and that is a boundary that's newer for me.
But you just wait. No. You can't do that and then go into previous detail about, oh, well, here's all the things why I think this is wrong with me. Hey, but what about this thing that you said is wrong with you? I'm not talking about my health journey. But you were just talking about it. Rosie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Rosalind.
To help with the way that I'm treated online and to help prevent me from like crashing the fuck out over shit. So things are happening behind the scenes in my life. And I'm letting people talk their shit about that, about like other aspects of healthcare. And I'm staying silent on it. I see those comments. I'm aware. I'm not talking about it because I don't want people calling places. I don't want people interfering with my healthcare. I don't want people fucking with me as a fucking disabled person. I don't want people fucking with me.
And this all came out of nowhere, mind you all. This all came out of nowhere where she was previously talking about a health diagnosis she believes she has. And then when somebody is like, hey, what about this actual health diagnosis you have? She flies off the fucking handle.
With me. So you guys might not find out about it for months later, if ever. Right now, I don't have insurance. Right now, I'm not doing specific things. Right now, things have wait lists. Things take time. So leave me the fuck alone about it.
Yes, they do. And no one is arguing the fact that these things do not have wait lists. They do not take time. They do not cost money. But we are allowed to criticize you for the fact that you continuously complain about these things, and yet you do nothing to rectify these things. Because yes, I do understand that healthcare is expensive. Going to a doctor is expensive. However, there are people who have said in your chat that they would be willing to donate to a GoFundMe to go and help you get your medical diagnosis. They've said over and over and over again that they would be willing to help you get the diagnosis you need and help you go see a doctor. And yet you continuously refuse because I don't fucking know, because it's classist and ableist according to you. What's actually classist and ableist is the American healthcare system, not people holding you accountable for the ways you publicly spend your money and the fact that you publicly complain that you do not have healthcare and cannot see a healthcare provider, and yet you do not put any money aside to go and take care of these issues. Because that is hypocrisy at its finest.
Thank you.
It
Literally
did
every
escalate
reaction I've seen
quickly,
go after
man.
you, other than one person is overweight as well. Yeah, I think it's not literally everyone. I'm sure that might be from like what you've seen yourself. Majority, I would definitely say are, even if it's.
Well, I fuck, Rosie. Hate to say it, I fuck. I get bitches. You're stuck with a sewer rat. I have pulled like 3 different influencers. We're not the same. We're not the same. Yeah, I might be a bigger girl, but I got bitches. I'm also not. I don't know why I keep saying that I'm not. I could also leg press your weight, girl. So you and I are not built the same.
If it's only mildly overweight, but yeah, most of them have weight problems. That's why they're interested in hating on fat people. Weight or food problems or both.
No, because you know who I went harder on than I've ever gone on the girls. Like, people love me because I don't say love me, but people like my channel because I keep it real and I call stuff out and I don't tend to have a filter. You know who I've called out harder than I've called out any of the girls? Keemstar and Alex Myers and Ned Fulmer. I have gone harder on those people than I ever have on the girls. If you watch either of those videos or any LCU video, I go harder on Keemstar than I do Amber Lynn in those videos. Because I had bigger issues with those guys and what they did. Well, Alex Myers, not necessarily, but that was like a one-off video. And I do think what he did was egregious. But I have issues with you being a fucking jackass. That's what I got issues with.
Hey, honey.
I love you, Sauce Boss.
It's always so weird not seeing you in your kitchen. Real. Thank you for saying I have a cute laugh. I did need that laugh. I appreciate it, guys. Love seeing the clap that T emojis. It's been a while since I've seen those. Oh yeah, by the way, members.
Brandy, she acts like everything about her is a privilege for us to know. And in most cases, for any other influencer YouTuber, I would agree. It's a privilege to know the private information. Like, for example, when Shane and Courtney from Smosh came out as married, that's a privilege for the audience to know that. Because they are notoriously very private. But when you are so unabashedly public with everything about your life, and then all of a sudden, when you get called out for controversies or hypocritical behavior, and you suddenly back off, and you're like, no, you can't ask me that anymore. It looks more like deflection than any actual ask for privacy.
New and old, we still have those emojis. I need to make some new ones at some point.
I love Amber getting shadow banned from TikTok.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm feeling that with the mugginess. And I really did not want
came out as married. Yeah, their sexuality. Courtney and Shane's sexuality is married. You heard it here first, folks.
To leave the house yesterday. And that's another thing too, is I pushed through that too. I pushed myself a lot yesterday. And it was really difficult. Trauma affects your epigenetics. That's how you say that, right? Heavily.
Again, the other thing I'm going to say is a lot of these behaviors, not wanting to get out of the house, not knowing how to deal with your illness, is stuff I will accept from people who are experiencing a very brand new illness or are still very young. Because at that point, you just don't know how to deal with this shit. You're still so young. You still don't know what the world is. But Rosie, you're mid-30s. When you are mid-30s, you should probably either start figuring that out or have it figured out. Because this is ridiculous.
Can you remind me, Sasha, what is the definition of epigenetics?
I'll Google it, because I don't trust whatever her chat's going to say. I don't know that off the top of my head either. Epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. The epigenome is a collection of chemical tags attached to your DNA, also called the epigenome. Think of your DNA as a piano, the epigenome as the pianist, and the pianist decides which keys genes are played loudly. Oh, okay. Things like environmental factors like chronic stress, malnutrition, or exposure to toxins can trigger harmful epigenetic changes, which are linked to cancer, heart disease, and illness. Huh. Nature versus nurture, exactly.
I don't know what that word means. We stand a queen with boundaries. Thank you, Nelly. That's another thing. I piss off a lot of people because I won't let them disrespect me.
Girl, the fact that you're on the internet doing these live streams is a humiliation ritual, and that's automatically the disrespect. I don't hate you because you don't let people disrespect you. I hate you because you're a bitch. Oh no, the closed captions. And like, here's the thing. And I know she'd be like, well, you're a bitch too. Yeah, and I know that. I'm aware. I have never claimed, and I've said this on the channel before, I've never claimed to be a nice person. I am a kind person. I will give the shirt off of my back for somebody. I will give my last dollar to somebody if I can. I am not a nice person. There's a difference. I am Supergirl.
I don't handle it. They're used to the other two rolling over and getting something out of that level of disrespect. I don't fucking.
Well, no. Hold on. What are you talking about? Roll over and take the level of disrespect. No. Because you do the exact same thing that they do. You engage in the disrespect, you engage in the conversation, the discourse, and crash out when the conversation isn't going your way, which is exactly what they do.
I value myself higher than that.
You shouldn't.
I had to get an epidural steroid shot for nerve pain, and it helped for about 3 months, but steroids are not something you want to take regularly if you can avoid it. Yeah, definitely.
Well, tell that to my steroid asthma medication I have to take. Tell that to my Montelukast sodium. Huh?
Yeah, I got really heated. You got
Roll over and interrupt tummy time? I would never. The baby's got to grow the cranium.
skipped. I didn't see anything, Katie. Tummy time is supposedly good for posture. I should get into this. Hell yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
This is fine to stay. I just feel very strongly about that.
I do agree with T Swizzless is that her not answering is saying plenty. Like, if you don't have anything to hide, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't answer the question.
Hi, Stacy. I got the catch up emojis. What up? PSA: setting boundaries is healthy. You don't owe anyone access to you, girl. Thank you. Boundaries are super healthy. If you
Foxtrot, are you on steroids? It's Foxtrot. Do we need to have a conversation? Guys, do we need to have an intervention for Foxtrot? Guys, you can't do that. You can't, you know that's banned in the races. How are you gonna Foxtrot in the Foxtrot race if you're taking steroids? Like, you cannot do that. You cannot. Like, do we not see what happened to Neil Armstrong? No, it's Lance Armstrong. No, one of them. The bicyclist, not the astronaut.
you took a year of therapy to learn, it took a year of therapy to learn to have some hold those boundaries. Lady, thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Rosie. Believe it or not, I'm trying to be respectful. I'll be honest, I got a little triggered and when I answered that, and it had more to do with conversations outside of your comment than you. So to be fair, I did have a strong reaction to your comment.
What is tummy time? I believe this was coined by Zachary Michael. It's because she's lying on her stomach the way engaging in these things and the way like a baby would. Because like when you have a baby, you have to like force them to like lie on their stomachs in order for them to like gain neck and head mobility.
To your comment, so but yeah, I meant what I said to be honest, but my reaction came off real strong. I totally admit to that. Epigenetics is I think what you're talking about, is like how your environment can shape your genetic consequence. Oh yeah, okay. Example, being raised with big T's or little T's, it can turn genetics off. Big T's. Yeah. Yes, I'm learning to respect my own boundaries right now, and it's hard because people think you're just being a bitch. Yeah, I get called rude a lot when I'm just being direct and communicating.
Well, you are rude. You're rude for reasons that's not directly communicating your boundaries. You're rude for a lot of other reasons than that.
My direct needs and requests, and I'm just being direct. I'm not even being rude. I'm just being direct. I'll watch myself back.
No, you're being a bitch.
I know that wasn't rude.
Yes, it was.
Like, you just don't believe I'm autistic and I'm being direct and I'm not putting on an affect.
Oh my God. Here's the thing. I understand that people who are neurodivergent have issues with communicating and reading a room. That does not mean what you are doing cannot be interpreted as disrespectful and rude. While you may not intend for it to be disrespectful and rude, it still is.
I'm not like taking the extra steps to like mask and perform that. Like I'm just being direct. I don't know. Gotcha, Barry. Yeah, Massacre said, I think epigenetics is the way your environment or behaviors affect your genes. Yeah, that's really cool. Hey, nerdy. Intergenerational epigenetics is the process where a parent's environment experience like trauma, famine, or stress can alter gene expression. You know, this is just a question. This isn't a statement. This isn't a fact. This is just a question. I think it's really interesting to me what role epigenetics could have in terms of like autism.
I'm going to punch her. 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 Now, me and my sister joke because we are not diagnosed. And I have said it before. I say it again. My therapist really wants me to get into a psychologist's office. No, I will not. Last time I did that, I got diagnosed with borderline and I won't do it again. I'm not getting tricked. You're not getting me in there. But her and I will joke about it because it's the fact that like sometimes our dad has really like very obvious autistic traits. And me and her also have very obviously autistic traits or like stereotypically autistic traits. The fact that she's doing this to try to prove like, well, my brother has autism, so I have autism. I hate to tell you, girl. The psychologist said she cannot diagnose you. You do not have it. I don't know what else to tell you. You keep pronouncing yourself as neurodivergent. And you aren't. You are not. You were told that you are not. You have a hive mind and an echo chamber around you in these comment sections that also will just listen to anything you say. So if they have any trait that's also vaguely neurodivergent, they're going to start proclaiming it too. It's the reason that shit like this, with a lot of the more subtleties with autism diagnoses, because previously, again, we've had issues diagnosing it in women because a lot of the more severe cases were found in little boys. And it's just another case of the American healthcare system not caring about women. Beside the point, kind of relevant. It's shit like this where you have done your due diligence and you have gone to a doctor and you just deny what they say that causes damage to the actual movement for people that are on the autism spectrum. What you are doing is inherently harmful.
I'm intrigued to know that.
Also, yeah, like the idea, Ben, is nobody that because you say something and you get the pass because you are potentially autistic is also gross, by the way. Just because you're autistic does not give you a reason to be shitty and say things shittily.
Yeah, and I agree with that, T-Swizzle. Like I said, there's a lot of people coming here that I know are all up in reactors chats. And I don't block you guys because you behave accordingly. But I also have those people the ones that I know of, because sometimes I get emails and I'm surprised by certain usernames. That happens too, because there's certain reactors who I've never opened their chat for, who I've never seen a single video of theirs, and I never will, especially the ones that go IRL with me and shit and are friends with those people,
Me, bitch. I'm just a girl.
But I'm not going to block unless I'm aware of certain things. But what I was saying is, like, sometimes those people, they'll be nice, but I can tell they're purposely fishing certain reactions from me, certain questions. Like they're taking things from these reaction channels and bringing them into this chat in a disguised way.
And you fall for it. So whose fault is this but your own? You fell for it.
Which is essentially a very like low level form of buddy trolling, like low level, because they're not like directly interacting with me in the DM.
This is why we can't trust her with certain words that she says, because she keeps conflating the meaning of the word. She keeps like expanding its definition. And like, no, that's not what that is.
And stuff like that. Well, okay, thank you. I am gonna delete that because I really don't want that to stay, but that's good to know too, so thank you. Because she's evil. But well, what does the research on autism say? Do they think there's more genetic? I don't know either, Mads. And that's kind of the point, as I was saying, is like I'm interested in learning more about it because I am ignorant to that.
Once again, I'm gonna say something. If you believe you have an illness or you are diagnosed with an illness, you should probably do research on said illness or disability or whatever have you. I've done so much research on borderline personality disorder, how it can be caused. I took a beginner psychology class that covered specifically mental health issues. I did so much research on it after I was diagnosed to figure out how it could have happened to me and what therapy I could go with moving forward that would be better. I've also been diagnosed with asthma since I was 4. And I've done so much research on how asthma can happen, what things can make it more severe, stuff like that. That's doing your due diligence when you are diagnosed with something. So the fact that you don't know some of the research on autism tells me you don't care. You just want the label and you don't care about the actual anything behind autism.
To that concept. And I think it'd be very interesting or like, is that something being studied at all? Is that something like people have any theories on or research or correlations on? I'm just interested. Yeah, that's kind of my intuitional thought. Massacre is like it's a mixture of genetic, environmental. So I thought I'd take you something. Hi, honey.
Hi.
What you doing?
I'm taking a break.
Ooh, you want to come hang out?
Yeah.
Ew, I hate this guy.
Hi, friends. We have a wild Lee up here.
Hi, chat.
I was looking.
Fuck
real
this
pissed off about
guy.
this, though,
Yeah.
but yeah, not that pissed, but a little pissed. But not Lee, get your ass in here. Hi, guys. Oh, Kingdom Hearts is on his t-shirt.
Yes.
No,
I think
Ben
we're
is
talking about
nobody.
autism right now,
Rosie
actually.
does
Oh, I
not
think
go to
genetics
therapy.
flip.
Rosie doesn't do anything. Rosie does nothing. But she complains about her lack of access to healthcare, despite doing no research on how she can get healthcare, despite not saving her money to go to a doctor, despite not doing anything. And then she complains.
A huge role, though. It can separate. I have a theory about that too, about how yeah, I don't want to go too into it because it's been a while since I've actually thought it out, and I don't want to spread anything that could potentially be like,
Aw.
oh,
Aw, gamer girl.
I love that. Honeybee has entered the chat. I'm living.
Ew.
Aw.
Call me the woker.
Hell yeah, very. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is literally my favorite video game of all time.
Stuff.
Okay. All right, bitch. No. Absolutely fucking not. We're not going there. Girl, we're not doing that. Mind you, never mentioned Kingdom Hearts once before. I know a LARPer when I see one. This is like how I felt when Amberlynn was talking about Pokemon. I know a LARPer when I see one. Not once did you ever say that you liked Kingdom Hearts. Ever. Once. Before this. But now since it's Remy's favorite thing in the whole wide world, you have to love Kingdom Hearts. Bitch, favorite boss. Go. Do you even know the significance of I don't know the full song.
It's definitely high up there for me.
He answered, like, you basically said European nut, right?
Basically,
For
yeah.
your ethnicity.
Yeah.
You look very Welsh or English, they said. Also, there's also lots of research linking your gut myobichrome to autism spectrum disorder. Fascinating.
I fear people are making shit up.
Huh. Fascinating. I do catch your drift, Barry. I really do. Have you guys seen Windows Bay?
Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay. Oh, I can't read. Got it.
Is that like a movie or?
Oh, it's Apple TV. I'm gonna watch Apple
Oh,
TV.
okay. Hello.
I've made some jokes to try to convince.
You wouldn't watch Apple TV, but you got an iPad? Okay, you pick and choose when to morally grandstand. You don't know the full song "What a LARPer Princess." I'm so sorry. I can hear it in my head. Like I can hear it. I can see the waves. I can see the very specific thing I'm talking about too. I just don't remember the fucking words. And I did it all the time at the beach when I was at the beach. Anytime there was a wave that would crash, I would do the Kingdom Hearts.
Convince him to switch to an iPhone so we can have blue text, and it's not going to happen.
No.
I tested the waters. I'm bummed.
I'm sold on Android.
And I'm sold on Apple. We're just gonna have to be a mixed technology couple. Unfortunately, I'll just have to deal with the green texts.
Thank you, Foxtrot. You finished it for me.
Hola, faves. Love this for both of y'all. Thank you, Monica. There's a song called "Honeybee" by Blake Shelton. Oh, he's not much of a country guy, but I'm gonna look it up later. I'm not gonna listen to it now.
There's
because I love the "Honeybee" by
There's also "Honeybee" by Steam Powered Giraffe. For those who know ball.
Olivia Rodrigo. We both do.
Yeah.
Honeybee. 5.
To be fair, I think I've only played the first 3 games for Kingdom Hearts. But my sister and her partner are very in love with Kingdom Hearts, so I've gotten very familiar with Kingdom Hearts. When we were kids, she wanted to make the sea salt ice cream, but she made them like little sugar cookies with sea salt cream flavored frosting, shaped like the little ice cream from Kingdom Hearts.
Which one?
Blake Shelton.
I
Yeah,
remember
but
Blake.
still all love, you know?
This is a little bit. What's up, Buttercup? Oh, your alarm. Do you want to go do what you need to go do?
I can do it later.
Okay, cool. I'm adding it to my main playlist, baby. Honeybee by Goose.
Not
I
familiar.
like Goose.
Emily. Stop it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna beat them up. And no one mentioned Honeybee by Steam Powered Giraffe.
Added some content ideas. So just, how do you? Okay, what do you know what I'm talking about? Those old style like 80s Sears photos. Do you know what those are?
80s Sears photos.
Like the Sears. Oh God, here's the age gap. Okay, hold on, hold on.
Sorry.
You're good.
That's a great question, Ben. I think there's 6. There
I think
might
Arts
be
and Crafts
more
training
Kingdom
is
Hearts
fun.
games.
Drawing each other. I feel like
Yeah.
that would be funny.
Yeah.
Bake off.
So
Sorry,
okay,
there's
so
13
here's a little Pinterest. Like so,
games.
it's like a thing like glamour shots from the 80s, like family photo style.
Oh.
They're like awkward and cringy, but in a funny way.
Oh,
Like
okay.
these, like
yeah.
with Ash and Cleo though,
Yeah.
with the cats. Like this would be, and then we could vlog the experience. It
Yeah.
would be an incredible fucking video.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so
It really
this is what I was
would.
talking. We see like we're
It'd
like
be the
the fucking
worst.
like close face shot, looking off in the distance with the like
Yeah.
group photo.
If you like move your laptop towards my direction. There we go.
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you, honey. Let me see. Oh, there's also a song called Honey Bee by Goose. And looking at that.
And no one mentions
Not
Steam Powered
Robbie
Giraffe.
time.
You don't know ball.
That's
13.
crazy, Dracula.
Lee, do you read? I can read. Pretty well, actually.
No. Now, did I not make Leah Michelle he can't read jokes? Hold on. They're on to me, guys. First, we heard Rosie steal my identity, and now we have him directly referencing the joke that I made that he can't read. They're in this fucking chat. They're in here. They're in here, guys. I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna buy it. Was it really last stream that I said he couldn't read? Did I really? I made the Leah Michelle joke last live stream, the last one. Guys are watching. I don't like this anymore. I'm leaving. Get out! You're not invited to the party. Ant-Man's gonna be there. You cannot be there. Ant-Man has a restraining order, Rosie.
Sassily in the house tonight, guys. That is so fucking. That's what I would say. I remember.
I think it had to be because I literally made the Leah Michelle. We made the Leah Michelle joke. I don't like this. Get out. You're leaving. You're right, Sauce. You're leaving. Get out.
Remember that on it. That was you channeled me on that response. That's some shit I would say, babe.
Dude, imagine. I think imagine she gets a gifted membership. No, we have to get. If anybody gets a gifted membership, it's Magic Sunbreaks. Just kidding. Everybody here, if somebody give gifted memberships, will get one because I think you all deserve them.
Oh man.
Okay, what are we doing?
Serious answer though. I don't really read that much. To be honest, books are kind of frustrating for me to read because I get distracted really easily. So.
Yeah.
Because I think he said that one of the last streams, and I was like, I don't think you can read. I think Leah Michelle core, you can't read. And then we had the whole conversation about dyslexics, and I'm like, no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who choose not to read.
Like the book has to be pretty freaking good for me to actually like be invested in.
You don't know ball. You don't know ball. As an English major, you don't know ball.
I'm gonna add. There's a couple songs I just want to listen to them. Some of them. There's this one called "Honeybee" by The Head and the Heart.
Okay.
I just want to listen. Just like catch the vibes.
Okay.
What if she brings up Steam Powered Giraffe? Don't bring up Steam Powered Giraffe. Don't you dare. You don't
So I
know
just want to do
ball.
this before I forget. Also, this is a laid back as hell live, so sometimes I'm on my phone. It's fine. Okay. Me and my husband are both split Android, Apple, or iPhone. I'm more of an iPhone person, same. And I just had to buy him a Samsung watch for his birthday, and it pained me real. Yeah, you got gifted with the free memberships, girl.
Smooksy, you're allowed to not read books. I give you the pass.
one by Goose is so good tea. Are you and Lee familiar with Portishead? They were the pioneers of trip hop.
Trip hop. I've never heard of that.
Can you write that down in? I'm familiar with music. Can you write that down in the music Discord?
Yeah,
Not the rose, the rose emojis, rose emojis, rose emojis, rose emojis, rose emojis. Okay, my brain broke. Bear told you, smart ass. That was kind of funny, not gonna lie. I'm sassy too. If my husband asks, you know what I mean, I say, yes, I speak English. Sassy Lee's on the loose. Yeah, we should paint each other's nails. We need to paint your nails. Actually,
my nails are unpainted.
we could move this shindig into the dining room. And I can paint your nails while we talk.
Well, I'm technically not done with mine, so I'm good.
Okay, so then no, you're not off. You're off duty.
I'm just taking a break.
Well, thank you for taking a break from
Yeah.
hanging
They are very gross. I don't like
out with us in
them.
our frame.
I don't like either of these people.
Nice people in the chat today.
Cool.
These feel like the couple that if you're online at an amusement park are like touching each other inappropriately at the amusement park and calling each other kitten and like meowing and barking in public. This is what they feel like.
I had to throw out a few losers, but you know what?
Oh, is this good for the brain?
Head and Heart is best one in my opinion. Okay, cool. Painting toenails is members only.
This person is setting him up for failure. Freya Christensen, you are setting him up for failure. The laughter.
No free feet.
Oh god.
That hit me right in the giggle dick. Anyway. I struggle with comprehension when reading. I read the page over and over.
Yep.
I get to the 5th page and forget what I read.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I feel like that's very much an ADHD thing for me personally because I experienced that as well. You should report back after the Honeybee song's next live. Hell yeah. Oh. No, I'm not gonna ask him to say your name, Barry. Give me your ear. Give me your ear.
Oh.
Yeah, that username. But yeah.
It's
Okay.
worse because I have her on like 1.5 speed, so it's worse.
Lee, you mentioned that you were interested in philosophy. Have you had the chance to read
Nicomachean?
Yeah, I think that's right. Nicomachean Ethic by Aristotle?
I have not.
Mind you, I didn't take philosophy, but this was part of like a very specific course I had to take when I was in college. It was like what makes a society. And I feel like these are very basic reads in college. Could be wrong. Maybe I just went to a crazy school, but Santa
The
Corgi!
Republic. I've heard of the Republic.
Oh my goodness, thank you, Wesley, for the corgi. He's in a little shirt. He's in a little shirt. He's in a little shirt. Oh, thank you so much. I got emotional seeing the corgi. I really like corgis. I really like corgis.
Republic. Actually, the Republic was one of the first ones we read an excerpt in my philosophy class from.
Well, yes, because it's probably the most famous work of philosophy ever. I love corgis, Wesleyan. I love them so much. I love corgis. I love dogs, to be so for real. I love dogs so much. Dogs are the love of my life. For people new to the channel, we do have Bippa. Bippa is my dog. She's not a corgi, but she's the cutest baby in the world.
It's from the Republic. It was my philosophy art class. Basically, Plato was talking about how he views art and how it's twice
a cat in a
removed from the
box.
truth. And because Plato, like, he had this whole thing with the world of forms, like this ideal world in which everything exists, like, in its perfect nature. And we live in this imperfect world where we can never truly have access to the world of forms. Like, for example, a chair, right? There is a perfect definition of what a chair is and what a chair looks like. However, since we live in an imperfect world, there are different kinds of chairs, and not every chair is made the same. So, like,
No. 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 That's not what the Republic is about at all. For people who've never read The Republic, it is a ideology surrounded by Plato got from Socrates surrounding what makes a society a society. It pioneered the allegory of the cave, which is the famous metaphor illustrating the journey of ignorance. So it's like the shadows on the wall, and the shadows on the wall pretty much. It's been a while since I've read the allegory of the cave. There's a shadow on the wall, there's the sun that represent enlightenment. I don't exactly remember what happens in the story, but it shows the fact that like these people are willing to believe and live in ignorance because they are looking at shadows and the sun, not actually experiencing what's going on outside. They are stuck in the cave, but they believe that they know what's going on because they see the shadows, they see what they presume to be reality. It also talks about like the idea of justice, what makes a just society. So he is right in that part, but it quite literally is not whatever the fuck he was talking about. That's not at all what happens in The Republic by Plato. Also the idea of philosopher king. So using in that society, having your ruler be a philosopher, that was a whole ideology back in the before times. Yeah, he did say he can't read. He's kind of confirming the fact that he is not literate. If that's what he got from Plato's The Republic, which is the idea of that, like, everything is different, so we live in an imperfect society and not what makes a society and how a society is formed, you're fucking stupid. You're, like, absolutely stupid. It's so fucking dumb. The whole argument for the Republic is that living a just life is gonna, like, living a morally just life is going to be the happier option. Like, every time he's talked about something, he's like, I know what I'm talking about, and he's gone on like a quasi intellectual rant, and I've seen it. I'm like, you're wrong, because he made the argument one of the first streams. He's like, oh, here's what underemployment means, and I was like, no. Incorrect. No. Once again, English major here. I had to read The Republic not for an English class, but still read it.
That was kind of his whole thing. He also had he also talked about the allegory of the cave.
There he is.
Classic Plato, basically talking about how when we were born into a cave, where we are only limited by our surroundings and what we can see. But when we leave the cave and actually take some time to reflect and venture off.
Hey, no. Once again, the allegory of the cave, if I remember right, again, it's the idea of disillusionment. So I believe people are chained up in the cave. I believe that's how that starts. They're chained up in the cave, and they believe what they see because what they see is the truth. They believe what they see is to be the truth until they escape the cave and can see the reality of the world around them. You're not born into the cave. You didn't fucking read it. Now I understand why the professor hates you.
That's when we can leave the cave. And the thing about the allegory of the cave is, if you go and try and tell the other people in the cave, that means people that you were surrounded with, like your upbringing, or like maybe it's a community of people. If you try to go back and tell them like what you've found on your quote unquote adventures, they won't believe you because they haven't left the cave. So that's kind of
that part is very true. That part is true. That is part of the allegory of the cave. When the first prisoner that's freed from, again, it's been a while since I've read this. It's been a very long time since I've read this. I've been out of college for several years. So please, if I'm misremembering the exact facts of the story, please forgive me. But I do believe when the prisoner comes back and he tries to explain to everybody the truth of the world around them, they do not believe him because, again, they are conditioned to believe what they see. He couldn't even spark notes it. No.
Philosophy there. Yeah.
Can you write down those two, like the Republic and the Aristotle one in the philosophy channel? I kind of want to dig more into the Republic, because that last bit you were just talking about, I feel like that's a very interesting metaphor or allegory for what I experienced on the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's not comparing herself. She's not comparing the internet hive mind hug box to the fucking. I'm gonna say this. I am somebody who, again, literature, reading, college was a very formative and important part of my experience. Hearing this hurts. I don't want to know what he thinks about To Kill a Mockingbird. What do you think he thinks happened in To Kill a Mockingbird? And he's wondering why he's failing. He's wondering why he's having trouble. Well, you clearly don't read the material. That's not what the Republic's about. The Republic was about critiquing early Grecian society with notes on what makes a utopia and a society done by Socrates and Plato. I swear to God, I'm going to beat him up. And what's crazy is she just eats it up because she's like, yeah, he's so brilliant and so smart, and he's dumber than a box of fucking rocks. He thinks Boo Radley has Riz. Oh, well, hold on. I could make the argument Boo Radley has Riz. Hey, okay, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop because I think I'm going to end the stream because that pissed me off. But do you guys want to know something? My dad and I were talking the other day because we were discussing that scene from The Big Bang Theory where they talk about the fact that in Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones is purposeless to the plot. Like the same exact story would happen if Indiana Jones were in the movie or not. And we were trying to think of more movies that are like that. And do you guys want to know the best example? The best example of a main character in the movie that does nothing for the plot, and the movie would not be any different if they weren't there. It's To Kill a Mockingbird. Like, think about it. Think about it so realistically. Gregory Peck's character in To Kill a Mockingbird really doesn't do anything for the plot. He's not the one who, like, the trial still would fail, even if it wasn't him. Even if he wasn't the lawyer. He is not the one who saves Scout. It's Boo Radley. Like, think about it. Atticus Finch serves no purpose in To Kill a Mockingbird. Also, Batman the Dark Knight. Batman is useless in Batman the Dark Knight. If you take Batman out of Batman the Dark Knight, the movie would be the same. Subscribe to my channel. We get conversations like this. Yeah, I hated that. I hated somebody misinterpreting Plato entirely. It's crazy that they named a legal program Atticus when he didn't even do anything. No, for real, Hot Chip. Like, again, if you... In the book, it's a little bit different because the book, it's very clear Scout is the main character. But in the film adaptation, very specifically, Atticus Finch is the main character. So, but when you watch To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus Finch doesn't do anything. Like, the movie would be the same with or without Atticus Finch. Moonlight might become Batman. Hey. I might. Shit. Someone was Batman earlier. Was it? It was a paralegal. Which one of you guys is a paralegal? Because you were paralegal by day, Batman by night. Was it Foxtrot or Brandy? It was one of you two, I think. You're Batman by night. The ham costume is the main character. Oh, for sure, Sauce Boss. Yeah. We become Batman. Dude, it was you. Foxtrot's Batman also. So we got a bunch of Batmans in here. But yeah, isn't that a fun thing to think about? What movies just like would be the same? You're the vet tech. You're right, Brandy. You are the vet tech. Foxtrot is Batman. Ham costume deserves an Oscar. I think it should be nominated every year, just like the way John Mulaney thinks that Field of Dreams should be nominated for an Oscar every year. I believe that. And I firmly believe that. Isn't that a much better conversation than anything Remy had said about Plato? Isn't the conversation we just had much better? You're Bat Child from Dimension 20. Stop. I met Robbie Damon. I'll never stop flexing. I met Robbie Damon. Can I be Jeff the Land Shark? Sure, Smooksy, why not? You know what I do? When I get my computer, I can get Steam back and I can get Marvel Rivals. So one day I want to do like fun gaming streams every once in a while, and I'm like, what if we play Marvel Rivals? I'm not good at those kind of games, but what if we do that? You're gonna ask your movie-loving friend this question. Ask, because if you watch Indiana Jones, the plot of Indiana Jones would not change if Indiana Jones were not in the movie. if you watch if you watch the movie version of To Kill a Mockingbird, it would be the same, with or without Atticus Finch. If you watch Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, you don't need Batman. And I leave you with that today, everybody. And that's where, and we're leaving you off with that philosophical discussion. I think we had a really fun stream today. We had some law debates. Rosie stole my identity, and they're stealing my jokes. That Lee's illiterate. Fun times today, everybody. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm so excited about the next 2 videos I'm going to be releasing. Hopefully one tomorrow, one Sunday, and they're going to be superhero related because I'm very superhero pilled. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have the most amazing rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening, middle of the night if you're crazy. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody. Good night.